that's so exciting, and it's so amazingly attractive.
Yeah, you're not laughing now, are you?
We are the world up. Fucking Ada. What's that? Did you hear it? Did you hear that? I'm sorry about checking. Aye, but it might have been something important. Imagine my chair's broke. Imagine you watch me break my neck. I mean, it'd probably be good for views. Change the thumbnail up. Idiot breaks neck live on stream. Something happened that hurt me then. Can you let me know in the chat? Hello, everyone. Streaming. It's 2:25 a.m. here. Not complaining. It's my choice. I got my man Suffist in. I got JP in. I got Anglo-Saxon in. I got LC. Life's getting weird for me. John Palmer. Hello, Eleanor. I can't stick with one person long enough, can I? Hello, Ellie. John Palmer just said to me, he said, "Oh, I liked your last lockpicking video." That's so weird for me, for JP to watch a video about how they tried to prevent bumping in 2010. Bumping locks. LC350 is now addicted to lockpicking. I did send him a lovely care package. So I know it's not, I know it's the thought that counts, but I do like to let people know that I also do my bit. It's not a one-way grift here. If anyone wants to get into lockpicking, let me know. I'll help you out as much as I can. And I am world-renowned. It's a weird thing that I haven't really shared with the Scrubs. I sort of have. I think the OGs know. But, yeah, you can find all sorts of interviews with me online. And, yeah, the Dangerfield brand is a recognised high-quality lockpicking brand. Not at the moment, though. Things are difficult. I've had 3 mates go out of business in the last fortnight. Businesses that have been going on for like 15, 20 years. And this is what pisses me off. I won't dwell on this. It's not their fault. They run good businesses, tight ships. People are skint. People are skint. One of my mates sells puzzles, like really interesting puzzles. Some of them, like there's only 50 in the world made, and he gets them all sort of, you know, he what's the word? Bespoke almost. And everything was going fine. He said, the line he said was, he said, everyone is skint. He said, when people are skint, they're buying petrol and food. He said, they're not buying puzzles. And so him, his family, his staff, their families, it's a difficult world, man. It's a difficult world. You will probably see a lot more videos from me, not lives, but videos, because as Warren Buffett said, when the economy is tanking, you got to get hold of your skill set. Those Dragon's Den videos got me loads of new subscribers. I don't get new subscribers, but those Dragon's Den videos did. But because of the fucking pain in the ass with always having to do a dispute and then doing an appeal, and an appeal is a court. You have to fill in. You know, this is a legal. I can be taken to court if Sony Pictures don't think this is fair use. Fair use is such a broad and mad, wild category. How do you not prove that in court? So I imagine Sony's lawyer is better than my Dartford back alley drug solicitor. I think you'll find that Dangerfield was not using the entire video. It was a response video where he did not make fun in any way or damage the reputation or financial capabilities of Dragon's Den. And then the prosecution play a clip. This show is shit. This is theatre. Anyway, so a few more standalones. I've got one to make about audio books. I've got nothing against audio books. What I've got is how they're trying to sell them. It's an old marketing trick, this. I mean, some people still use it, certain areas, certain markets, you can still pull it, but you say the opposite of what actually your thing is. And I can't remember the line. Hang on, I was doing some research on it earlier, so it'll be in my history. Or as I like to say, Donne-moi l'histoire. I say it will be, but it would appear I've looked at lots of big boobs in between. Anyway, this is the 2:30 a.m. Super Grift. Lovely to see you. Oi, Mumford's in Cambodia. I told him, I said, the glorious house of Scrubs are expecting a double stream. I'll move to here. He'll sit there. He'll be out of his head on pharmaceuticals. Holiday in Cambodia. What is it? Uber Alice. Uber Alice. Anyway, and he'll sit there, and at one point I'll go, hang on, I'll get my guitar. He'll be reluctant, but I swear to you, once he gets that guitar out, you might even get some live versions. I might even get him to, we might do Get It Out, you know, Get It Out. You looked in my dream, kissed me, loved me, and he'll be, the amazing thing will be, he won't have played that for 30 years. It won't be the same, but he'll just make it up because he knows what the progressions are. And then I'll just give him a nod to change like chorus. Your eyes are wide. That'll be lovely, won't it? Lovely. So that's on the cards. It won't be tomorrow or the next day because, you know, he's on holiday. But later on in the week, I'll make sure there's plenty of time in advance. But it's going to be lovely to see my best mate. You know, how long have I known old Scumford for now? 30 years. And we've had some falling outs in those times. Give me a 1 in the chat if you and your best mate have had proper falling outs. Not 1 or 2 weeks where you're not talking. I think the longest me and Mumford went was about 3 years. 3 years. And we can really press it. Give us a 1 if this you can relate to this. We can really push each other's buttons. Sometimes we're having a great conversation, having a right laugh, and then I feel it take a turn. And then we both start getting a little bit shitty with each other. And I think, I hate this when it goes like this. But now we've matured enough. I mean, it only took 30 years, but we sort of go, right, hang on a minute. Go on, I'll talk to you another day. This is, or he'll say that to me and like, we'll call it and learn it. Who's in there? Otto says he's too nice. Civil Defence UK has got the grift going like a beagle. Not skin, but £5 here, $3.74 after YouTube take their cut. Still better than nothing free. I tell you what, man, it's double bubble. That means the world to me, Civil Defence UK. Are you new here or have you changed your name from someone else? But absolutely lovely. If everyone would like to say hello to Civil Defence, I'm sure we'd appreciate that. Vesper Check knows it. Hello, mate. Eleanor says you need to belt up kids. Mousecat's on the firm. I still keep him at arm's length because he's another. Oh, God. Plastic Africans on the firm. Amazing. Moody Edge hasn't got any friends. The regulars, we all know this by now. The OGs, the scrubs, drug addicts, former, present, and past. No, that is former, present, and future here. The criminally insane, the broken-minded, the lost, the wandering. They all found this place. Everyone in this gang was people who weren't wanted in other gangs. And yet that makes us better than all of them. Whoa. Let me tell you something quickly that's going to make you absolutely crack up. Thank you, Civil Defence UK. While we're on it, Entropy donations at the top, and Brick Dictator already dropped a 10-bit in there, and Ayrton Senna. And he said, save America, Dangerfield. It's getting too much like a movie. Thank you, Brick Dictator. Double bubble. Excellent work. So they tried to assassinate Trump then. Fucking hell. Now, I've got no evidence. And that's tell a lie. I've seen video. I've seen what you've seen, right? But did you see the geezer with the ginger hair saying he told the Secret Services and the old Bill that there's a bloke climbing up that building with a rifle on his back? And the interviewer, like MSNBC or, you know, one of the usual lot, went, do you know about weapons and that? He went, yeah, I got loads of guns. Because I think he was trying to say, well, it might have been a twig or something. You know, this geezer in like black shimmying up the side like a ninja. And he went, it was a rifle. Yeah, it was a rifle. Massive badness to the geezer that got killed. I mean, but, you know, whether you like Trump or not, and I like him, and I'll tell you why, because, look, party politics is ridiculous anyway. It's ridiculous. I'm with Horus. Horus has convinced me we don't need governments. That's just been massive multi-generational. Hang on a minute, this will be weird. Ever had to blow in the plug of your iPhone 8 to get it to charge? They shot the top of his ear off. 5 shots rang out. Right. He's got a family. He's got children. The Secret Service are trying to get him to safety, and you can see him fighting them. The geezer at that age, right? What's he in his 70s, isn't he, Trump? He's managing to hold back 4 or 5 Secret Service agents, probably ex-Delta Force or ex-SEAL or ex-Marines. You know, they're the sort of people that go into sort of private security, aren't they? And he does. He doesn't let them drag him off stage. He pulls through them and he goes, fight, fight, fight. Now, I don't care which side of the political spectrum you stand on, although I know what side all of you do. Thanks. Yeah. But that is, what an image. What an iconic image. Have you seen some of the photos? Just incredible. I don't think I'd have had the balls for that. I'd have been fucking I'd have been under that lectern saying, stand on me, just get on me. No, he was fighting them off. And how did he know that there wasn't another shooter or that more rounds weren't going to ping out? Obviously, the Democrats hate it. They've had to. Did you see Nancy Pelosi? Oh, it's terrible. Yeah, but you are part of this. Didn't Joe Biden like 5 days ago say something like, we've got to put a target on his back? Yeah. Devon Tracy goes on a lot about the Young Turks inspiring people to attack, you know, people on the right. And Devon outright accuses them of some bloke who got killed. People in the chat might know a little more about it. Hello, Woodlander. Woodlander, going back to the friendship thing, said, I really fell out of him when he topped himself. Ouch. Selfish fucker. You know, I was actually going to talk about suicide today, but I thought, nah, man, we need some brightness in our life. I do think you should choose. You should have a choice if you want to take your own life. But people often think that means I'm saying that doesn't mean that there's no consequences. And like in your example there, you know more than me about that situation, and you consider it selfish, and it may well have been. You know, some people, if you've got kids and that, you've made a commitment and you've got to see it through. Like I think I'm going through some fears that I haven't had before, because I haven't had a missus who I love this much and who loves me. You know, in the past, I've lost everything, and I've just sorted it out because I can just make it happen. Sitting on my ass, go out, you know, find a way of making it happen. But she's depending on me as well now, so it's going to be a bit trickier. But you are certainly going to get more YouTube videos, more streams, and I'm into that. Hello, Emma. Nice to see you. Nice to see you saying hello to Civil Defence. No, been here for years. So sorry. I don't, you know what I'm like with memories. I don't even know who Lartus is. Hello, mate. How are you, Lartus? Oh, Lartus, you've reminded me. So listen, so I'm going to have to do my final edit using AI, right? And I tried Grammarly yesterday, and I got it in the end because it can do what I need. You know, the heavy lifting's all been done. It's just the proofing, really, a couple of little other bits. But check this out. On Grammarly, you sort of set it up how you want it, right? So what do you want it to do? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, right, I don't want that. There's things on it like, I was going to save all this for a video about audiobooks. Anyway, there's things on it like check for ableist language, check for gender, you know, all that gender pronoun stuff. I didn't even read the end of the sentence. I was just like, no, don't want that. And there was about 30 of these just woke things to, you know, to wokeify your writing. If you leave Grammarly's default settings on, it will wokeify your writing. And I'll tell you what, there'll be nothing in my novel left if I let it do that. The other thing it does, it just rewrites your work if you want it to. Now, I've got nothing against people who write books for money, who do it just for money, right? I haven't got that skill. I probably have actually, but what I haven't got is the motivation. I write literature. I love literature. I like playing with language. You know, but on Grammarly, you can set it up. When I first started it, I was like, right. So I was trying it out on one of my shorts, one of the new shorts, my second letter to my dead dad, and the whole first 4 lines were highlighted. And so when it's highlighted, you click on it, right? That's telling you they've got a suggestion. And it just rewrote it. It said something like, this gives this sentence more clarity and improves the tone of your point. But I've just spent 7 years choosing those words. What do I want you to change them for? And, you know, I think this sort of thing is going to be good for what I'm going to rather snobbishly say, real writers. You know, when I was talking about Jock, my mate who does all the Judge Dredd and the Batman and the 2000 AD stuff, AI like Midjourney has actually increased the currency of him being an actual artist, because people soon get sick of the same. You know, if you're using AI to rewrite your novel, really, you could just write something like a 5-year-old, and you can put it through one of these AI things, and it will come out like a, you know, commuter trash, just the sort of stuff you look at when you're on the train, so you don't have to look at another human. But the problem with AI is it can only base its decisions on the past. Now, we all can to an extent, because you can't see the future. But it doesn't know how to play. It doesn't understand that it's in a postmodern end of history era. It doesn't understand irony. It doesn't understand the unconscious. And what it actually does is standardizes. And so that's fine. That's fine if you want to write. You know, there's going to be so many books. I mean, they're already pretty much all the same. But I was talking to Mumford about this earlier, and he said it's sort of like what I can't remember the exact phrase he used, but he said it sounds like a J.K. Rowling machine. And I said, no, you've nailed it. It just will make what's expected. It writes what is expected. And I don't want to do that. I mean, most of you have read my Substack. What? You didn't know I was a writer? Top link in the description. It's free. Well, I better get that up on the screen. You can hover your camera over that, and you can go and grift me up there. You get a video reply, which is a bit of fun. And thanks to everyone who's done that. but yeah, I just thought I just turned. It was weird. I turned nearly everything off. I just want to know. I want consistency with punctuation. Even then, I play with punctuation. So, but it will get done. And people, I am that close. I am that close. My missus is away for a week. I've got staff off work though. Work is scaring me, but there will be time to get the last little bit finally written. It's written, but it needs a rewrite. Then I've got to go through 180,000 words with Grammarly, and then that's ready to go. Well, I've got to get it formatted and a cover. I've got the title. I'll keep that between me and myself for the minute. Anyway, I want to show you something that blew my mind. I'm really into those FBI YouTube videos. Have you seen them? Like the FBI files. It's like they're such horror celebrations. It's like the voiceover comes over. In 1978, Minnesota was Death Valley to the locals. I can't do an American accent, you know, and it's like, wow, but it's real. But they just make it like as dark and awful as they possibly can. She was a beautiful girl. Everyone loved her. You know, people would smile every time they saw her dancing or singing or skipping. You know, all right, I get it. Would it have not been as bad if she was ugly? No, we had an ugly. Excuse me, have you seen this man? We're investigating the murder of an ugly girl. Nah, not interested. Next week, this pretty girl got murdered. Oh, I'll do anything. Any help you need, let me know. If you need me to help, go out on the searches or put up posters. They really go for that, right? So there was this story, and I do like them. I like them for all that. And then it cuts this bloke, and he sort of walks along, and he looks like he likes too many. Looks like he likes a couple too many whiskeys before bed. And then he goes, "I'm Tom Mulligan, the ex-FBI chief at the New York office." And this next one is like, okay. And then he tells this story about a casino. And one day, this metal thing, this lump of metal, just stainless steel, about 6 foot wide, 6 foot long, 4 foot wide, and about 4 foot up, right? A massive thing with this other little stainless steel box, all welded, you know, like nicely welded, coded welding. And there's a letter on it saying, this contains, like, I don't know, 2 kilos of TNT. If you try and tamper with it, and there's all these switches on it, like about 30 of them, and they're all up except for one. If you try and tamper with it, it will blow up, and it will take everyone out in about a mile radius, right? And it's right in the middle of, you know, casino land. He says, I want 3 million. So it's an extortion case. I want 3 million. He said, I want you to get it in an helicopter and drive the helicopter, blah, blah, blah. So the casino owner says, what are you going to do then? They said, well, we're going to fly the helicopter, but we're going to have another helicopter about 1,000 foot above him. We'll track him. We're going to catch him. And he said, well, if you reckon you're going to catch him, I ain't giving him 3 mil. He said, I'll give you 3 foul, and we can just use, you know, paper to make it look like real money underneath. So they go for all this palaver with the helicopter, and he's a trained ex-Marine helicopter pilot. And the bloke said to him, you need to be right down just above tree level, right, just on the canopy. Really dangerous for an helicopter. And he's going, look, I can't keep this up. And he's meant to be looking for a strobe light. And when he sees the strobe light, he's going to land it, blah, blah, blah. No strobe light. They send him back out, follows this road that he's got to follow, no strobe light. And in the end, he's running out of petrol or kerosene or whatever it is they put in vegetable oil. And so they don't hear from him for a few days. And they're like, what, you know, what's going on? What's happening? So they wait and wait and wait. And then the FBI, they decide that if that thing goes, so that they empty the casino and the hotel that's part of the casino. 600 people have to leave, and they house them in a school about 3 miles away. All the casinos and hotels in the area have to be evacuated and all this, right? I can never remember it. Is the hotel evacuated, or do you evacuate the people? You evacuate the people, don't you? That's it. You don't evacuate a hotel. I don't know. So Lars will know. Hello, Duper Guy. Good to see thee. Right, so the FBI then decide. The FBI, hello, Sheila's ... Lovely to see thee. Strong and resilient. That's the way to be. That's the way to be. So the FBI decide they're going to, they X-ray it. They take something like 300 X-rays with this portable X-ray machine. And they can work out where the explosives are, the TNT, which is a very powerful explosive. And they realise that the top box is likely the detonator. And one of their top lads says, and I've got a video for you. One of their top lads says, look, I've got an idea. Hello, Mr. Gold. Lovely to see you. I don't know what cake he's about, but I will be making one tonight. Otto wants everyone to stop getting shot. It'd be lovely, wouldn't it? It's madness. Oh, mate. Hello, Rollo. We've got it here, mate. Well, I won't bore you with it, but the rain is so loud that I can't hear. I can't talk to anyone. I can't watch anything. I can put my headphones in with the noise cancellation, but it doesn't really work. Anyway, hello, Jason Larson, the Danish Greek. Are you new here? Or am I just forgetting names? Hello, Lulu. How are you, love? Right. So this FBI bloke says, right, if we put some C4, is that it? If we put some plastic explosive, just a little bit, we can blow the top bit, which is likely the detonator through all these X-rays they've done. We can take that off. Hello, Nyanthos. Good to see thee. We can blow the detonator off, and then the main bomb won't explode. Now, I'm going to try and get away with showing you it. It should be all right, because it's only going to be a few seconds. I'm going to take it back a little bit more, actually, for the build-up. So remember what I said. They're gonna just take the top of this 6 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot bomb that someone got into a casino. No one knows how, and that's what their plan is. Let's have a look at this. All right, you should be able to hear it. I'll turn it up on there. Check it out. If I do get yeeted, I'll be back in 3 minutes. The screen just goes black and it says, oh, this stream got a content match. But it's only about 10 seconds. We should be all right. He's absolutely smashing the tash. I'll give you that, Moody. Right, here we go.
Of course, could hear over the radio literally the countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1.
The plan has failed.
Did you hear him? The plan has failed. Oh, you think so? The geezer that owned the hotel was like, John Palmer's called it 8/11. Let's just hear him once more say the plan has failed. It's too good. Yeah, I'll check it. Really? Yeah. It's amazing. Amazing. There you go, Mouse Cat. Amazing. Yeah. You're only meant to blow the bloody top off. Let me show you the bomb, though. It's very, very weird. It's a weird bit of kit for a bomb. Have a look at this. I will probably get in trouble for saying bomb too much. Sorry, Eleanor. I know. I don't mean to cackle. I do, though. Hello, Dan. Dan Lovett. Nice to see you. Hello, Keys to the Kingdom. Exactly. Should have got Dibner on the firm. That would have been lovely. But have a look at this bomb. It's like something from a cartoon, like a comic strip. Have a look at it. Look, hang on. Why is my computer so slow?
None of us would be alive.
The complexity of the design and amount of TNT tells law enforcement this bomber means business. This device could blow up the entire block.
Yeah, that's it. Now, in fairness, I obviously remembered it being a lot bigger, but that's about 4 foot wide. And that box on the top, I don't know if you can see my cursor, that's what they decided. Hello, Charlie. Charlie says plan B. There's no plan B after that, is that was already plan Z. Incredible. Look at that. Oh, it's gone. That did it for all the wrong reasons. It tickled me, but they managed to find him in the end. They managed to find him, and he had nice to see you, Charles, as well. He had plans to do it again, but it wasn't TNT. He lied. It was dynamite. But that's how they found him. Because anyway. If you want to go and find that, just type in casino FBI bomb, and I've sort of given the game away now, but I was crying. I was in the back of a tuk-tuk when I was watching it, and I thought, wow, that's amazing that they're going to try and just take the top off. Seems a bit of a risk when it's sitting on top of a. I was wiping the tears out of my eyes. No one got hurt, though. No jokes. They were, like I say, absolutely no one, apart from the owner's bank balance. No one got hurt in the terrible. I think the FBI just got bored and said, "Look, let's just fucking blow the thing. We don't know who it is. The geezer hasn't got back to us. We flew around in an helicopter with the money." Yeah, but they caught up with him in the end. Weird old thing. I think I might have something else to show you. Let me just have a little look. I think there's one more thing. I want to know what you think about Trump. Give me your I can't say that name. What let's have what brutal from Ellie. Absolutely brutal. So let's have what do you think, people? What do you think about the see you later, Woodlander. Take care, mate. What do you think about the Trump shooting? What do you make of it? Let's have a look at a bit of Mark Dice. You can always rely on bicycles. Has everyone else noticed that YouTube have almost doubled their adverts? Like it used to be, you'd have one at the beginning that you could skip, one at the end that you could skip. Then it was one at the beginning that you could skip, sometimes one in the middle that you could skip, and then one at the end. When I was watching that one I was just showing you, there was about 20 adverts in it. Like television used to be, you're trying to watch something and it's like, oh, hang on, oh God, come on, have you not got enough money that you have to? Imagine the right had control of YouTube. It'd be like the glory days, 2009, when it was this amazing platform. You could just go on there and find something that would just blow your mind because people were free to say what they wanted. and you actually got to hear people's opinions that they weren't scared to express. They weren't scared to express them through fear of losing their job, losing their family, losing their friends, but also they weren't scared to impress them because they wouldn't lose their channel. And over the last 10 years, you know, YouTube is slowly morphing into the mainstream media that it was meant to replace. What kind of... The progressives are so regressive. Yeah, look at this technology. Let's turn it into what it replaced. Cheers. Thanks a lot, you bastards. Right. I will... hello, mate. You want to come on, Packer? It's up to you, mate. I'll pop it in the chat. Let me know whether you've got it. And if you want to come in, you're more than welcome. But if you don't want to, not a problem. I'm with you, Metro at the agency. I want him to win. He needs to win. If Trump doesn't win this election, there's a Democrat government for maybe 20 years. It will take that country becoming a third world country to do anything about it. And I mean that. I absolutely mean that. Hello, Mrs. Me in it. They're all gone. Hello, Dangerfield. Your angel delight. Your angel delight here. I feel like it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. They've all gone. I had one a day for 14 days. 13, I think there was. It was ridiculous. They were amazing, though. Picard's on the firm.
Hello, can you hear me all right?
Yep, loud and clear. How are you, son?
I'm all right.
What'd you make of the Trump shooting?
Well, I just put in the chat. It's possible it's just a nut job, right? That totally hasn't been incited by anything that the entire left and mainstream media have been saying about Donald Trump. Obviously, because we need to calm down about that now.
Yeah.
It could be an inside job by Hallmark's cards. Is it? What's the other one?
Paul Mark's cards.
Yeah, Hallmarks. They do cards. There's another one that does cards.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to. You treat me gently, man. It's like gone 3 a.m. and you can hear my voice.
Yeah, well, I'm trying not to say anything, too.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're doing. You're working. Yeah. I get that. Hang on.
But yeah, there's no possible way on earth it could be a Trump job. The left is starting to say, oh well, it's a setup. It's a Trump setup to make. No,
that's nuts. That's nuts.
And it though. Like, the most scrutinized man on earth for the last 8 years has somehow in the last 3 years got a plot to fake attempt to assassinate himself past everybody that's been looking at his life. Okay.
Yeah. Not buying it myself.
He's an absolute
Jackson French is not a fan, but I don't know if shooting him is the answer. I think, there you go, James. That is an interesting take. Someone just said use uBlock Origin. I used to use uBlock Origin. And then one day, I've been using uBlock Origin for years. It's an ad blocker, people. And then one day, YouTube said, I was playing a video and it just stopped. And I got a message saying, you're using an ad blocker. If you don't get rid of your ad blocker, you won't be able to use YouTube. And as a YouTuber, that's quite important to me. So I sort of went, it told me how to do it as well. It said click extensions and then disable.
I know a bloke in Minecraft that just ignores them and it doesn't seem to make any difference.
Yeah, but what one is it? Because then someone told me that NordVPN. I don't know. I've got NordVPN. It said there's another thing on NordVPN that works. I tried that. All that does, when the advert starts, it stops, but the video don't start again. I mean, Lord knows how it works, but I don't know. I don't know. I think it's all they're. Hello, Mark. Nice to see you. Hello, Packer. Your host is here at last. What was I going to show you? Let's see what the ball. Oh, hang on. let's see what Mr. Dice has got to say, and we will comment on this.
I'll get that everywhere. I'll be in 42's chat and someone will go, all right, Packer, so you had Danger one again.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. I love it. I love it. It's great stuff. Right, let's see what Mark Dice has got to say on the subject.
Many in the media are upset that, well, they were reporting that Donald Trump fell on stage after he was startled by some.
Yep, I put that on Twitter. CNN, their cover story on their website was Trump fell on stage. Now, when you read on further, it got into the shooting, but the headline said he fell at a speech. Trump fell at a rally. What? What? Absolute madness. Right. More Mr. Dice.
Loud noises. Well, the American people figured out exactly what happened 2 seconds after seeing the video. And so they're blaming Elon Musk and another billionaire hedge fund manager, Bill.
Elon Musk done it. It's amazing. Elon Musk. No way, another super chat from my man Leon. I went to the LGBT blah blah centre the other day wearing a Trump. Oh, you went into you love it, Leon. Wearing a Trump 2024 baseball cap. And they threatened to, oh my God. Gays aren't even allowed into the gay places now. It's ridiculous. Nice one, Leon. Much appreciated. I can't believe it. Did you hang on, I'll get back to you, Leon. I just want to introduce Dan. You all right, Dan?
How are you doing?
Yeah, good. People, that's the iconoclast. He's Packer's guest.
I saw you were streaming and you put the link in the chat, so I thought, why not? Let's just jump in. Let's shoot the shit.
You're the only person I'm going to let do that. I should have deleted it by now. How
hello,
are you,
by the way, Chris. Hello, Packer. We've never officially met, but I've always enjoyed seeing you on Chris's streams, so it's nice to finally be in some with you.
And Daniel, it's nice of you to call it my stream and say hello to Packer, because it tends to be Packer's stream these days. And hello, Chris. Right. What do you make of Trump shooting, Dan?
It's very dodgy, isn't it? I think.
You think so?
Yes, very dodgy. I think the tamest take anyone can have on this is that there was, for some reason, a massive lapse in security from the Secret Service.
Yeah.
Which is, it's not very believable. Let's be fair.
But they did. Reagan got shot as well, though, didn't he?
But that was if you watch that footage, Reagan was he was literally walking down a street into a car, and this fucking guy ran up and, this guy was climbing on a roof, up a ladder, army crawling across the roof for several minutes, setting up his rifle, taking his shot.
He
was pointed out by people. There's multiple videos of people in the crowd pointing him out, and it's like 2 or 3 minutes before he actually starts opening fire. And you think, what? That is odd, isn't it? Let's just be kind here. That's a little bit strange. So it's we'll see what happens from now on.
Did you see CNN said that Trump fell over during a rally?
At this point, you've almost got to respect CNN for how blatant they are. I quite enjoy them.
Even did he? He got on the floor because there was like blokes running at him screaming "down, down, down."
Well, even a professional sniper. That whole one shot thing is a joke, really. What they'll usually do is take 2 or 3 to get it right. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't know the wind conditions until they've tested it out. And to get someone in the ear from the first shot, I think that's a professional sniper hired by Nancy Pelosi.
Do you? I've heard he.
Yeah, I do. I think it's a professional. Yeah, are you that ain't easy. Americans in the chat who regularly fire rifles. That's quite a difficult shot and moving.
Right, he's only 100 odd yards away, or was he 130 yards, 100 meters?
Yeah, he doesn't stand still, does he? Trump. He's all like, well, maybe that could work against getting a hit. But and also a professional would probably go for the body, wouldn't they?
I saw, sorry, Packer, I saw an interview today on Twitter, and it was some former army sniper. I think he was getting interviewed on Fox News. I can't remember his name, but he was actually saying the opposite. He said that because of the distance, anyone with any kind of basic rifle training could probably make a decent shot from that distance.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know. I've never fired a gun in my life. I wish I had. I would love to own many firearms, believe me. But
you should get out here, Dan. You can fire them all the time.
I might do that, yeah.
It's great fun shooting guns. It really is. You know, when I first went to Thailand, I got a Beretta. Like, I just thought, I don't want anything too big. And by the third time I was up there, just give me that Kalashnikov. Yeah.
Would you like to get a Kalashnikov? Because that's such a cool weapon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Best. And gold plate it and put jewels in it. And
my mate had a gold plated one. True story. He's Lord knows where it is now. It was at the Colony Club. It was in formaldehyde, and it was a gold plated. Some artist gave it to him, but he died, and I don't know what happened to it.
Very dodgy, Chris.
No, but it was on display. It wasn't like, come and have a look at my Kalashnikov. Right. My bookkeeper for my business, she can strip a Kalashnikov and put it back together in the dark. And I said to her, she's from Georgia. And I said, how the fuck? She said, because at school, we used to have to do it twice a week. A bloke would come in, like with 20 AK-47s. All the kids would get one. They'd be taught how to do it. And at the end of the term, they'd have to do it blindfolded, take it apart and put it back together.
That's pretty good.
I mean, I do support home teaching, but you're not going to get that in England.
I wish.
Let's have a little look more. Leon, I do want to hear a bit more. Really, did you take it? Did you just say? I mean, did you put up a fight, or did you just say you're pathetic and go somewhere else? Down the Admiral Duncan. What a ridiculous thing. Let's see what Mark Dice has got to say. People, if you can hear an echo on this, let me know. But I'm trying not to have to turn me mic off because I forget to turn it back on and then I'm muted and all that.
Aikman for shaping the narrative because they both unequivocally endorsed Donald Trump after the event and both pointed out the obvious about what happened and who incited it. As expected, many of them are blaming Donald Trump, like The Atlantic, which ran this headline, "The gunman and the would-be dictator." And now that we've had some time to begin processing and analyzing what happened, it's abundantly clear just how close we came to living in a completely different world and a horrifying reality. This illustration showing what would have happened if Donald Trump hadn't turned his head a split second before the shot was fired to look at a chart that was displayed on the big screen at the event. And there's going to be a lot of information that the liberal media is going to try dumping down the memory hole in the days, weeks, and months ahead. Like the fact that the chairman of the January 6th committee, Democrat Congressman Benny Thompson, tried to get President Trump's Secret Service protections removed just a few months ago.
Yeah, and he'd done that because he thought he was going to prison and he wanted him to be exposed in prison, which sounds weird, but you know what I mean.
Everyone's exposed in prison, Chris.
Isn't it a strange thing that it's almost, I think even 10 years ago, there'd be a very different response to this. I think I'm not as surprised as I should be, if that makes sense.
I'm not surprised at all. I think many people have said this, but I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner, considering the rhetoric that they've been leveling at Trump since 2015, for Christ's sake. I mean, it really has been over the top. I remember when, excuse me, I remember when I first traveled to America in 2008, and it was in the middle of the Obama, who was he up against? McCain election, right? Back in the day. And I remember all of my very liberal friends at the time, because I was 18 years old, all of them were saying, oh my God, we're so scared that Obama might be shot and killed, assassinated because he's a black guy, right?
Okay, weird.
And nothing of that sort ever happened, right? it's only now that this has become a very real thing and quite an obvious thing for us, because the things said about Trump are they're far beyond the things that have been said about other Republican candidates in the past. Even though, yes, they did draw a Hitler mustache on John McCain, and then after he died, he was the greatest person in the world. Yes, they did draw a Hitler mustache on Mitt Romney, but he's a sensible Republican according to Bill Maher and all those people. It's so blatant, and they're all coming out now and saying, "Oh, this isn't the way." Joe Biden says we have to win at the battle box or whatever that means. And
what was that? Maxine Waters, don't let them eat in restaurants. Don't let them relax. All that.
It's fucking crazy, man. And I hate to be that guy that says, "Oh, imagine if the shoe was on the other foot," and the hypocrisy. But you do have to point that out as well. It is a one-way street here.
Yeah, it absolutely is. John Falstaff, this is the danger hour. It most certainly is. Oh, excuse me. I think I would have been less surprised if it was more like the Reagan one, just some geezer in the street running up and trying to,
just pure chaos. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. But this sort of in full view crawling up, I don't know. It's very surprising. Let's see where Dice goes with this. Hello, Mike. Good to see thee. Hello, Jess.
I was just going to say, the Lotus Eaters have found out about this lad that did the shooting, and he's a 20-year-old nobody that got the piss took out of him at school and wasn't even good enough to get on the rifle team at his school.
And he has zero social media footprint at all.
Well,
imagine that.
That seems sus.
A little bit.
And you know what that usually means, don't you?
Well, I remember, funny story here. I won't keep on this, but I remember I deleted all of my social media years ago. And I remember back in the day in my mid-20s, if I went on a date with a woman and they'd say, "Oh, what's your Instagram?" I don't have any social media. She would look at me like I was a freak and maybe a psychopath. But it is odd, isn't it? It's very rare.
When you say you closed down all your social media, Susan closed down one of your social media accounts.
I mean, my personal real life social media. That's what I mean. Yes.
Yeah, I don't have them. I have Twitter because it is the fastest news. Anything happens in the world, you get it on X. Sorry, you get it on X. Let's have a little look. Let's see what else Mark Dice has got to say, and maybe have a little chat about that. Roll V2. Oh, I haven't even got it set up. I wasn't intending to talk about this, but I think it deserves a few more minutes.
Yesterday, old Joe addressed the nation from the Oval Office and finally admitted the obvious, because Saturday night, hours after the event, he refused to call it an assassination attempt, even though everybody knew that 2 seconds after it occurred. But despite having a teleprompter, he still could barely put together complete sentences.
Thankfully, former Trump is not seriously injured. I spoke with him last night. I'm grateful.
Hang on a minute.
Former Trump is not seriously injured. Amazing. Love it.
But it's actually a Freudian slip, sort of wish fulfillment, isn't it? Former Trump. Let's have it again. Look at him like trying to focus on the teleprompter. It's so bad.
Former Trump is not seriously injured. I spoke with him last night. I'm grateful. He's doing well, and Jill and I keep him and his family in our prayers.
I'm grateful. I bet you are. Sure. Anyone else want to have a pop?
I don't know what they put into the prompter, but it sounded like one of his writers snuck a line in there about making America great again. Listen.
You know, we're blessed to live in the greatest country on earth, and I believe that with every soul, every power of my being. So tonight, I'm asking every American to recommit to make America, think about it.
Great again.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Hang on, Mr. Natras. He's dropped a Lady Godiva in. Hello, Chris and Scrubs, Dan and Packer. Been away for a while. Hope you're all well. Well, I can't speak for everyone. I'm well. Packer?
I'm all right, yeah. Average.
Danny?
I agree with Packer. I'm always in the middle. I'm always kind of, sailing in the center ground. Never happy, never sad. That's me.
No joy, no misery.
No joy, no misery. Just
we need
Android.
to have a chat about that one day.
Calm serenity.
Or depression. One of the two. Could be either.
Yeah. Or just darkness.
Yeah. Sorry. Don't ask questions like that. Jessica says they couldn't do any better than this. I don't know what Packer and Dan, don't be like that. They're doing the best. Hello, Alan. Look at Alan. Right, Alan. What's the SP on the leg situation? Dan, I'm not asking Alan about his legs. Well, I am. But he's just had 2 new legs put on. I think he said the middle of July. So he might be in hospital or he might have just come out.
Wait a minute. You mean 2 new? What do you mean? 2 new legs?
His knees gave up. And so he had to have 2 new knees put in.
All right. All right. So that's very different to what you just said.
Yeah, that's sort of how these streams work.
Right. By the way, John Palmer in the chat earlier said, "Is Biden AI?" No, he's not. AI would do a much better fucking job than Biden right now. I'll tell you that. That's why I fully support an AI dictatorial takeover. That's what I'm saying.
I like the way they keep oranging him up now.
They are, aren't they?
That's
he does look like he's a bit mid-journey 2023, isn't he?
What's a Mission Impossible mask type of thing?
That's a good call.
If he peels that off when it's Tom Cruise, I'm going to piss myself laughing.
Nice one, Alan. I hope you are recovering well. I still can't believe the balls you had to go through with it. I would have been so scared, but fair play to you. So soon you'll be up and around. I told you my mate had the same operation. Listen to this, Dan. What they do, they put a incision across your knee, like vertical, pull the skin back, steady, pull the skin back, and then sort of saw off your knee. And then they put a new one in, but they hammer it up the hole in the bones of your bottom of your leg, and then one in the top. It's a brutal bit of surgery. My mate had both his done as well, and he was about 60 when he had 52 actually. I know he was exactly 52, and afterwards it just changed his life because he couldn't walk. It hurt him to walk.
Is this because of arthritis? Is this a thing?
I don't know. Just some kind of... I don't know why Alan had to have his done, but my mate, I didn't really get into it. But I said to him, are you scared? He said, well, I was, but I've done as much research as I can. He said, the doctors are really good with me. They understand that it's frightening, and they just explain everything. And he said, and the more you sort of get to know about it, he said they've almost made me feel like I'm privileged, and in a way you are, because at 52, if you can't walk 5 meters without sitting down, and it was only about 2 months after the operation, he was riding a push bike around town.
So look, I mean, I can't even get a fucking dentist appointment, so you should be privileged in that regard.
Well, it gets weirder than that. He had hepatitis C, so he also got his own room in hospital.
Perfect, fantastic.
So there's a tip for you people. Get a bit of hep, and you get your own room in hospitals. But I do knock the NHS. I think it should be privately run. But if you can get new knees put in, that ain't bad at all. Jackson French said, I totally destroyed my anterior cruciate ligament. Yeah, I done it. About 10 years ago at rugby. Never had surgery. Can still squat 200 kilograms for reps. How many reps are you doing 200 kilograms? Jesus. Fair play. How old are you? I don't know.
23.
Private Whittle says leave it out. I bet that was about hammering bones up into the Ultra Mega Essex boys in. Chris Thrall said it was Mike Tyson. Oh, Mega Essex boy, did Thrawley say it as a joke? He must have done, but I wouldn't put it past him as to have that kind of conspiracy. I love Chris, but he comes out with some absolute madness. But yeah, he did come out with the best quote of all: "You only get one life, but if you make it worth it, you only need one." And I like that at all. What did I say? I like that at all. I'm turning into Biden. I'm going to get onto some Mark Dice so that we can get away with whatever I just said.
It's made America so special.
Wait a minute, we got to rewind that. What was that, old Joe?
So tonight, I'm asking every American to recommit to make America
great again. We're trying, sir. Please just get out of the way. And now numerous videos have emerged showing that numerous attendees at the event saw the gunman on the roof. Not just saw somebody on the roof. Not just saw somebody suspicious on the roof.
The reason I like this fella is gingers get a lot of grief in life, but this bloke is so proud of his ginger. He's got one of those sort of golfing hats that allow the world to still see it when he's wearing a hat.
I don't reckon. I reckon that's the hat.
You think that's one of of the?
If that's his hair, he's got fucking he's got Muppet hair.
You think he's got like a fake ginger hat hair?
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to put it to the glorious house of Scrubs. Is that a ginger hat hair, or is it duper guys on your hair? On your hair? Sorry, people. It's 3:30 in the morning. Lulu says it's a hat. Otto says it's not his real hair. Dan, you going to go with the crowds, or are you going to help me out a bit, mate? Please. Oh, he's just sent me a message saying back in a sec. He's going to have another vodka. Dan drinks it anally, so he might be a
I saw it about 3 times before it suddenly occurred to me that it wasn't his hair.
All right, let's watch it.
I wasn't really paying attention.
I am. Hello, Goy Division. Good to see you. Nyanthos is with you. JP's siding with me. That's good. Jay says he does have a ginger beard. Jethro Hetero said, yeah, another bearder. Moody Edge has pointed out bald next to his ear.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give you that. I can see that. Right, what I call the Trump shot area.
Yeah, I reckon he used to have lots of ginger hair, but he hasn't anymore.
Let's have a look. I mean, it's not the most important.
We cover the vital bits of all stories.
Hello, mate. He says it's a Trump wig. Amazing. Wolf, hello, Wolfie. It's a mask. That's the shooter. Let's see what he says.
They saw somebody and they saw that person had a gun and they were trying to alert the police and Secret Service about it.
Right, hang on. Before we get there, I'm going to see if you can buy a Trump hair wig ginger online. Trump hair hat. Anyone got any? You can exactly his one. You're right. It's Trump's hair. I can't believe it. Hang on, can you see that? You can see that. Look, it is Trump's hair. It's a Trump hair hat, wig hair hat. I can't believe it. It's a Trump hair hat wig.
That's pretty good.
Amazing. Look at that. A Trump hair hat wig.
Look, the art of the deal. He knows what he's doing.
It's incredible. Look at it. I remember when I went, one of the Glastonburys I went to, there's a few of us. I'll tell you where that story ends up. Acid and her legs fell off. Right. So that's incredible.
You should get one, Chris, for your streams. You should wear one.
Anglo's
up until the election, you should really lean into the American election and be like, "Oh, this guy's doing wall-to-wall coverage of it. He's wearing the fucking the ginger hair Trump hat."
You want to be careful, Daniel, because you've proven yourself as a YouTube expert, and I'll start taking your tips seriously. And
do it
when you see me on my.
I'm a genius. Do
it. Trump hat hairs. I can't believe it. I feel like my whole reality has just taken like a shudder, you know, like a
The
judder.
sky cracked a little bit.
Did it? Yeah, something like that. I don't know what you said, so I just pretended to know an answer. I'd give you a generic answer. Mark Dice, let me know you can still hear it.
Do you know, Chris, that iconic photo?
Go on, Dan.
Hang on. That iconic photograph that was taken of Trump when he's raising his fist, blood on his face, and the American flag in the background.
Amazing.
That is on T-shirts already. That is being sold all across the world. Like that is print-on-demand services are doing that right now. So people are making millions out of this.
You know,
already.
if you're a full-time YouTuber, they're the glory shots you look out for. I mean, I don't know if you saw the beginning of the stream, Dan, but as 5 or 6 young ex-military Secret Service blokes were trying to pull an old man down, he fought them off after having 5 bullets fly past him and went, fight, fight, fight. And I think that is incredible.
Look, I saw it live. I was watching it live on Saturday night.
No way.
Yeah. Just coincidentally, I was watching it, and it was mental.
No, you saw it live from the roof of a building about 100 yards away.
I can't confirm or deny that fact.
You might want to deny it, mate. The world's changed. The internet's changed. They'll be knocking on your door again.
I'll be knocking.
Putting the fear of God in the lad. I think we'll leave Trump now. But I don't know what else. Now we've got 2 guests. I can't just ramble.
Can I just say something before you move on? Just to wind the Trump thing up. We're having a laugh about it and we're jovial about it, but literally, if he hadn't turned his head at the last second, we'd be looking at a possible civil war in America right now. I think the consequences would be that grave, or at the very least, it would be just complete. The RNC would just put in a puppet, and everyone would just not turn out for the election. It would just be status quo forever.
Or, Dan, the other way of looking at this is if he hadn't have turned his head at the last second, in November, he'd been voting for Biden.
yes, good one.
You think there would? I mean, who fighting who? What, the MAGA crowd just sort of?
I think it would just be rage. It would just be rage in the cities. It would just be because already
like an army of I can't remember the kid's name. Rittenhouses.
Right. Yeah, of course. And the fact that he lived through this experience it's not detracting people from determining or speculating that the people behind it were the deep state, the government themselves. So imagine if his fucking head was blown off on live television. People would still believe that. And, I don't think it'd be the majority, but there would be a lot of people out there who I think would be out there and taking things in their own hands, rather.
Interesting. I don't know.
It'll be a very volatile situation.
I said earlier that, I've certainly become so desensitized to the madness of American politics that I'm not, like, we are laughing about it. We're making jokes about it. Now, I haven't got a problem with that because that's not all it is. And we're not children. We can make jokes, but this is an assassination attempt on someone who has been a president and is likely to win in a few months' time. And, he said he's got a rally coming up in a few days and he says he's doing it. He's going to go and do it.
Yeah, I always be surprised. For whatever you can say about Trump, he's got balls of steel.
Yeah. I said
really
earlier, I wouldn't have done it. I'd have stayed on the floor. I would have done. I think I would have done anyway.
Yeah. Well, he's his own man. He's always been that way. And I think the reason why there's this romanticism over Trump from a lot of people, including me, even though I think his presidency was ultimately a failure and he didn't do anything that he wanted to do and said he would do. But the reason why people still hang on to him is because of him and the way he acts and reacts to things. Like the best thing Trump ever did was shit on the mainstream media and make it okay for people to just distrust them and not believe the narrative that they were being fed. This guy almost gets shot in the head, and his first instinct is to signal to the crowd with a fist bump in the air.
Yeah.
You can't train that, can you? I mean, really, that's a 1 in a million type of person. That's where that admiration comes from. Yes.
For me, that's like his Putin riding the horse without a shirt on moment. You know.
Did you see the crowd though? The crowd all stood up when he put his fist in the air. The crowd who were all cowering around all stood up.
Wow.
And started chanting USA.
Wow. Oh yeah, I heard them shouting it, but the clip I see had the crowd clipped out. Wow.
And what a lot of them did actually after that Packer's saying is they all turned around to the cameras at the back of the event where all the media companies were. And they all started hurling abuse at them and saying, this is you, this is you, this is you, this is because of you. So these people, they know what's going on here. They know the rhetoric over the last 8 or 9 years, what it's created and what the threat isn't over, by the way. Just because he's likely going to be elected president unless something happens doesn't mean that the threat is over for him. So
I think
people are very switched on.
Certainly be looking at upping his security though. But I've always, do you remember when Obama used to speak, he'd be in like that glass box? He did. He literally was in like a Pope mobile sort of deal.
Well, that's what I was thinking when you said that. I thought, I remember the Pope being in this glass enclosure on the back of a pickup truck or something. Yeah, amazing.
It's like an ice cream.
He got shot 6 times, didn't he?
Oh, the Pope?
Yeah.
Someone shot they call him John Paul VI?
Someone filled him on full of holes, didn't they? And he didn't die. And everybody, the Western world went, God.
Praise God.
Oh, but look, hang on. We've got some Pope mobiles through the ages here. Excuse me. It would appear they've had a few different changes in design. Can you see that one? That's more like a little cabin on top. But look at this one. Look, this is more like a sort of summer Pope mobile.
It's a Jeep Safari mobile, Pope mobile.
Yeah, you're right. It looks so cheap. It's like a family consumer car just decked out with a thing on. Wouldn't you want to build something for real?
I'm sorry. I don't like to interrupt guests, but we've got to zoom in because I think Les Dennis is in there with him. Can you see the page? Yeah, I think Les Dennis is dressed up as a Pope. Look, from Family Fortunes. I went out on the piss with Les Dennis.
Wait, that's not. Come on, that's not Les Dennis, is it? Come on.
No, 100% it ain't. What the fuck?
Well, no, I'm sorry. It was such a left field comment. I didn't realize. I was like, is this real or not? I don't believe anything anymore, Chris. That's my problem.
The moment Dan said, that's not Les Dennis in the back of the
I wish it was, though. That would be amazing. That would be incredible.
No, that was excellent.
But go on, tell your Les Dennis story.
No, it was. It's just the cliche, but a lot of sort of TV people and celebrities I went out with, they just keep playing their role, and like you're like, all right, you can stop now. We're having a drink and that. You're not on telly at the moment. But Les Denis had none of that about him. Just actually showed an interest in other people and preferred to listen. And that isn't that in my experience of those few years, that wasn't the case. I promised to let Mumford tell you this story, but I'm going to tell you now. Mumford's a real Doctor Who fan. And I've had a few drinks with, I think, 5 of the Doctor Who's. And I'm not a fan, but it's...
This is so fucking weird. Sorry.
Like fuck off. You just thought Les Dennis was in the Pope bill. And you're accused
because here's the reason why, Chris. And of course, people will take the piss out of that, but any famous person that's mentioned on this stream, you know them, you've been on the piss with them, you know you're like 6 degrees of separation from them. You just said you've been on the drink with 5 Doctor Who's or something. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, in fairness,
you are Mossad, Chris. This is what's happening right now.
One of them is what do they call it when you actually haven't, like when you haven't got an honorary? One of them is an honorary Doctor Who, and that's Clive Sinclair. And I just made that to make Mumford laugh, because Clive Sinclair is almost like a real Doctor Who. But when we met Peter Davison, Mumford was just having a orgasm, just thinking, fucking hell, you know, he's been a fan of Doctor Who since he was a kid. Peter Davison's sitting down, he's just bought me and Mumford and his missus a drink. So we sit on the table, Soho House, and I'm chatting away to Peter Davison. I've had about 0.5 gram of sulfate, so I'm chewing his ear off. Mumford says to his missus, he says, you know what? He says, this is so weird. He says, I've always been a Doctor Who fan. And Peter there was one of the best. And his wife said to Mumford, well, he's an alcoholic and a wife beater, if that might make you feel in a different light. I heard it as well, and I just looked round and Paul was going.
I think you would have made a good Doctor Who, Chris. And by the way, the last stream you and I did a few weeks ago, your friend Mackenzie Crook would have made a good Doctor Who, I think. But
now,
he's got that dainty appearance about him, and that I'm so British type of thing. Yeah.
We kind of fell out. Me and his name's not Mackenzie, it's Paul. But
that's not as good as all. That's really.
I don't know. It wasn't a vanity thing. I think it was what's the actors thing? What's it called? Where you
the Actors Guild.
Yeah, it's something like that. There used to be a name for it. Everyone knew. I don't know if it still goes.
Equity.
But Paul Crook was taken, and Mackenzie, I think, was his mother's maiden name. So he just went Equity. Yes, Packer. Sorry, mate. Exactly that. I think it was something to do with equity, and and Dan's top answer was Tito. Tito, I was thinking about you just the other day. I was thinking I ain't seen Tito in a while. People, it's 3:45 in the morning. I've got the man Packer, I've got the man Dan, and I've had 4 donations, and it's making me cry. Let's ramp up the grift, and I'll do another hour. Emma says he's a very good performer. He wrote the Detectorists. That's where we've got to go. Danielson. You're getting into metal detecting, aren't you? I saw you on X asking as a start. What's a good starter set for metal detecting? How's it going?
I'm still at the stage of asking people how to get into it, so I haven't actually gotten into it yet. But I'm very determined to get into it. So watch this space. It's a bit out of context phrase, but you know what I mean. Is the barrier to entry knowing what to buy or knowing where to, waddle your paddle? Well, I don't know, but I think for me personally, it is okay. When am I going to have the time to do it? The instruments themselves and the cost, whatever, we'll sort that out at the time. But it's like, okay, how am I going to physically do this with everything that I'm doing otherwise? So that, you know what, Chris, it's my biggest problem in life. My biggest problem is paralysis around indecision. I just need to do something and decide to do it and go for it. That's what I need to do.
But you know what? You say something interesting there around time, because I am chocker at the moment. I'm doing other people's work because I got staff off sick. Work ain't going too well. Not because of me, but because of the economy. I have to say that because, we're pretty good. We're still the biggest of our type in our niche, but people they can't afford fucking petrol and food, so they're not really buying lockpicks. But
yeah,
I've got another YouTube channel, which is part of the business. I've got this one. I lift weights. I'm writing a novel that's nearly finished. That's been 7 years in the writing. It wouldn't have been a 7 years novel if I didn't have a full-time job, but it's been a lot of work. I've written 35 short stories in the last couple of years. And then the other day I was thinking about taking on some extra work. Someone's offered me some work, some more marketing work. And before I even considered when am I going to do it, I was thinking about, you know, that would be a nice extra little bit of money here and there and all that. But I haven't got the time. But I don't, you know, I nearly said to him, yeah, let's give it a go and see how it turns out. But I had to turn him down in the end because I thought, when are you going to do that? When are you going to have time to write marketing copy? So when you talk about indecision, before that you said about time. So is it time or indecision, or a bit of both?
It's a bit of both, and I think the indecision revolves around what is the thing that I can do that has the best return for the time that I would put into it. The metal detecting thing would be a pure hobby for my own enjoyment. That's it. I'm not doing it for. I mean, you can't fucking do it for a job. You can't do it to get rich. You know. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's a fascination of mine. It's an interest. I would do it just to do it and to have an enjoyable period of time on the weekend.
No, I've certainly seen the attraction.
And the metal fishing as well, the magnet fishing, whatever it's called.
Oh, everyone in Dartford's doing that. All my mates are doing it. And you go around their houses. When I went back when my mother died, you go in their houses and they've all got it on display. Just loads of rusty old bits of shit. They're all speed freaks as well. Like they're up at 4 o'clock in the morning chucking these magnets into the river. Look what I got. It's some kind of Roman blade. Yeah, but it says made in Sheffield on it. Nah, that ain't Sheffield. That's Sheffieldisium. Mr. Natras says that Tom Baker drank with Jeff Bernard in Soho. I drank with Tom Baker in Soho in the French house. And then he went, Tom Baker is a legitimate eccentric, right? How he ever managed to learn the lines and be an actor, and a fine actor. I mean, Tom Baker was my Doctor Who. You know, that was when I was a young, you know, like 7 or 8, and you're into Doctor Who. I'm propping the bar up in the French house. I've been in there since midday. I'm off my fucking trolley. Luckily, so's Baker, so no one else is talking to me. But Baker comes in and he's rah, rah. And then he just does weird things. He just sort of goes, no more pigeons up, no. And then, you know, the proper madman, if he wasn't Tom Baker, he'd be asked to leave. Sits down next to me and he's like, what are you drinking? And I went, well, I don't know what that was. I think it was a vodka lime and soda. He went, well, where the fuck is mine? And so I've gone, Annabelle does 2 vodka lime and sodas, and he's gone to a stick 5 in mine. I thought, all right, crack on. So he's got it, and he's just gone, oh, he's done 5 vodkas. And you know, the lime and soda's about an inch in the glass. He said, I suppose we should go to Jerry's and I'll pay you back, shall we? So we've gone down to Jerry's. That walk is about 20 meters. And I haven't been so, not embarrassed, but he's a fucking lunatic. He's a and there's some really interesting interviews with him on YouTube. There's this one bit where he's like, sometimes I'll be sitting on a train and there'll be like a beautiful lady, and I sometimes think, imagine if she was a rolled up carpet with her legs sticking out the bottom, you know? Yeah, he's nuts. But I love an eccentric, and you know, without the eccentric, Soho's just a lot of gay bars, which is all right if you're gay, but I'm not, and I don't know.
Who was that very famous actor? He played He was in Gladiator, but he died halfway through production. What was his name again?
Oh,
very classic British actor.
Oliver Reed.
Oliver Reed, that's the one.
Yeah.
He was drunk all the time. He was drunk all the time. Every chat show he was on, he was fucking hammered.
And but we're going to watch it now. We're going to watch the best one.
Please do. And you know, you watch these things and you think, this guy's just having the time of his life. I hate to overuse an old school millennial hashtag, but hashtag YOLO, you only live once. And I think he impersonates all of that. It's amazing. But he's a bit of a legend.
The classic is when he went on. Sorry about this. The classic is when he went on Michael Aspel's show. Ah, no, it's one of those ones where we're going to get. Hang on. No, don't want to see that one because we're going to get people talk. You know, when they get these sort of B-list celebrities going, he came on the show.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll just watch
it on Channel 5 or something. Yeah.
There you go. 100 worst, most cringe TV moments or something. And it's a 3-hour long show, but if you put all the cringe moments together, it's like 10 minutes. We'll just watch the highlight, and it's when he came on stage and just started dancing. And fair play, the on stage band, they carried on. Check this out. It's amazing. Ollie Reed, what a hero! What a great British treasure! All right, here we go. Have that. All right, yeah. Have that. So he's just been introduced. He's just walked on stage. It's one of the most popular shows of its time. It was at peak BBC One, 7 o'clock. It replaced the Wogan show.
This was in the 90s, right? The mid-90s, I'm assuming.
No. I'd put this about 87, 86.
Oh, really? Okay, fine.
But, you know, in those days, pre-internet, 4 channels. So you're looking at probably about 15 million, 20 million watching. No, about 15 million, I'd say. Yeah. Watching this and just thinking, oh, I like Oliver Reed. Here we go. Check it out.
All fridge before. I was only the world. I was
I tell you what, I said this the other day. No, I've just seen that. I said this the other day. I've never had any interest in being famous. I had a touch of it when I was a comic, and it was all negative. But the one thing I would love to have been famous for is to be able to do that sort of thing. I was so jealous when Trey Parker, who's the other bloke, South Park bloke, it's Trey Parker, and they went to the Oscars on acid. Yeah. And got their award and that whilst tripping on acid, and they're interviewed, and the interviews are on YouTube, and you can tell they're just fucked.
And when they turned up wearing dresses, they're like evening gowns, didn't they?
That's it. They really thought this would be a good. It would be amazing to sort of be invited. You know, imagine I wrote something that was like a cult novel. And I got invited on something, a modern day version of the South Bank show. I mean, I don't watch telly, so I don't know what it would be. And imagine deciding to bang a load of crack before you went on.
Hang on. Hold the thought a sec. Livy was in a film with Oliver Reed.
No way. Let's find it.
Chat.
Eleanor says that Richard Burton, another fine English treasure, had spinal surgery, and when they opened him up, his spinal cord was covered in alcohol crystals. Doctor said it was unprecedented. Well, there you go. Jess has confirmed that, Dan, about the South Park.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah. I read that. Cool. I am a fan of South Park, by the way. I know people might not like that, but
no, they're great blokes. No, I've got nothing bad to say about them at all. Emma Glass has said, only because you asked nicely. Well, when we write our private emails, Emma, it's when I ask nastily, you tend to respond. Drop. Thank you, Emma. That's lovely. Did you see your name in the? Of course you did, because you look for it now, don't you? Sync. Anglo-Saxon.
Oh, go for it. I'll go off after this. Go on.
What's happening? What are you doing?
No. Say this, and I'll say what I was going to say before.
Yeah, but the reason I know it interrupts things, but sometimes they're contextual, and people get a bit pissed if they say something.
Super chats supplant everything else. Go for it. I know.
There you go. It's for you as well. Look, Dan, are you aware of the Staffordshire Hall? Metal detector geezer found a really huge and important load of Anglo-Saxon gold, earned over 300 bags of sand. Do you know the Staffordshire Hall?
I don't know that one specifically, but there's been many discoveries that have yielded a lot more financial return than that one. I mean, some guy got like 3 million from some hole he found in a farmer's field.
Thank you very much. Oh, did I? Oh, yeah, I done Graham's on. Thank you, Emma, and thank you, Anglo. Much appreciated. Dan, when you said it's not something that you're considering doing for a living, but be honest, is there a little bit of you that thinks you might get lucky? You know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there you go. That little.
Look, I mean, like the last time you and I streamed together, I was talking about this, and there's plenty of YouTube channels where in Britain and America where all these guys go out and they metal detect. And I watched one the other day where this guy was on a beach. I think he was in Brighton, for fuck's sake. No, sorry. He was an American guy. He was in some beach in America. And he's going along the coastline, and he finds like a half sovereign gold coin or something like that. Now, I don't know how much that is worth, but it's fucking gold, isn't it?
About 30 quid.
Well, whatever. But, you know, all he's done is gone out of his car and found it. But the big holes that this guy's talking about, yeah, there's been a few of them. Honestly, for me, I'm not really bothered about that. I don't want to do it for the potential, you know, finding treasure.
You do. I'm not buying it.
I swear to God, I swear to God, Chris, I would never lie to you. What's the attraction
then? I'm not questioning it, but what is the attraction?
The attraction is, first of all, getting out of the house. Second of all, I'm really interested in history, and if I dug up something in the middle of nowhere and it was a coin from the Tudor times, I would be chuffed at that. I'd be like, oh wow, look at this, and I would keep it, and I'd probably put it in a frame or something. Or honestly, I'm really interested in that,
and so I can understand that, and then going and doing all the research and finding out about it. Yeah, that would be something,
because people, you know, like the modern world is so easy. Everything's just there. I would love to be. This is going to sound a bit gay, but hands and knees down in the dirt. Digging, but that's but I do find that appealing. I think if you found like something from Henry VIII's time, I'd be over the moon. I'd love it.
No, for sure. It was funny when you said well, not funny, but when you said about Americans, I mean, you got to go some to find any history in America. I found something from 1940.
But you know what? In America, because America's a young country, relatively speaking, in a Western sense, all of the people that went to America in the first place were basically pirates. So God knows what they found and buried and did what with, you know, that is intriguing in of itself. So yeah,
well, I'll tell you what, I would like you to, if ever you find anything, well, do Dan's Hall stream.
Should I start a channel just about
why not that'd be amazing.
Yeah, why not?
I'm just trying to think if there's any play on words.
That's difficult.
Yeah, I'll get back to you on that. I cannot, Dan. I tell you what. I can also. What was that, Packer?
Dig with Dan.
dig with Dan. No, if I think if Dan was to do a new channel, you've got to get the iconoclast in there just for the viewers. It just helps get your channel going, doesn't it? Otherwise,
probably get it off its feet, yeah.
Some unknown with a fucking metal detector, 4 months, 4 subs, me and Packer, and then his missus. But Dan, I can understand. Like when I used to go fishing years ago, used to go carp fishing, and you sometimes won't catch a fish all season. Well, it's not so much like that anymore because they overstock the lakes. But just to get away from your house, your life, and just be on your own, and you'd have your little tent there. I can see there's probably something nice about that. You're going to have your headphones on, and you tend to be walking in nice places. I imagine when you're not sort of going around the M25 with a metal detector, are you?
Well, maybe that's a good place to do it. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what
you'll find
a copy of Razzle and one shoe. Why is there always one shoe in the hard shoulder? Go on, Packer. Sorry, mate.
I said Steve Cray does it with his boy on Skeg Beach.
Well, there you go. What is he? Is Steve quite into it?
I don't know. Not overly. I mean, he's just got a normal detector. I don't think it's headphones and all that malarkey, but they do find stuff. His boy's got a box full of rusty shit.
Why Naughty G? He said, you say it every time just to let you know it's new Taiwan dollars. Oi, Naughty G, the other time you said, I haven't donated in a while. I can afford it. I feel a bit guilty. So here you go, right? And I was like, what's NT dollar? And I was thinking, fucking hell, 150. What a touch. And after the stream, I looked it up. And I appreciate all donations, but I think it was about 195. So why Naughty G? Thank you. You say it every time. Yeah, no, I looked it up. Thank you, mate. When I got my Arsenal season ticket, I was the boss of my business. I was a stand-up comedian. When I was going out in Soho, I was selling narcotics.
What year was this? Sorry, was this Highbury days or was this?
No, after Highbury. This was when I was probably started when I was about 35 through to about 45. Right. But everything in my life, I was sort of the standout person in the situation. And the reason I got a season ticket, I love Arsenal and I love football, but I wanted to be just part of a crowd. I felt so under pressure all the time because people were depending on me. When you're selling drugs in a situation like Soho on Dean Street, it's not like, taking it out your mouth and all that dodgy up alleyway shit. They all pretend to be your mate and all that sort of stuff. And you have a couple of drinks with them and they want to introduce you to their mates and you have to play the game a little bit because they're buying a hell of a lot of it off you at ludicrous prices and terrible quality. And I just wanted to be wearing an Arsenal top like 60,000 other people and be part of a crowd. And I didn't realize that until afterwards. And it was so nice. I was just a normal bloke and it was really important to me. And there's a movie about the writer David Foster Wallace. And when he wrote Infinite Jest, and everyone said this is the most important novel of the 21st century. And
I know it so well, Chris.
One of your favourites, Dan?
Oh, my absolute favourite. Go on.
I tell you what, it's one of my favourite novels. It's fucking amazing. He's a big influence on me, David Foster Wallace. What's that quote? Good writers borrow, great writers steal. And there's a fair amount of DFW in my work. He hung himself.
Sorry, but you know what? I think if a writer, an artist kills himself, it's probably a sign of authenticity. That's what I think.
there's a trope, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's a bit in the movie. I don't want to bore everyone by telling you the whole story, but the bloke who wrote the movie spent 3 days with David Foster Wallace they were the last 3 days of the tour promoting Infinite Jest, the book, the novel. And there's a bit where the journalist says to him, I can't remember why the conversation comes up, but all the dialogue comes from the diaries of the bloke who actually was there. So you can kind of trust that most of it happened. And he says something like, this is strange. He says, I'd give anything to be you now. And you won't even recognize that you're the most important writer in the world. And David Foster Wallace gets a right ump with him, and there's this sort of it builds up to a bit of a crescendo. And he says, "Listen, what's the word? I've blown it." But he essentially says, "I really need my normal blokishness." That everyone thinking he's this sort of literary genius damages him. It isn't something that has given him joy, and it just says, just being a bloke who gets up and has a cup of tea and cuts the grass and all that is really important to him. And the other bloke says, but you're not normal. He says, you're special. No one sells however many million books in sort of 3 weeks in blah, blah, blah. Yeah, kind of sad, really, man. You achieve your, he published his first novel when he was a student, and you'd think, so did I, really, actually, get that news made. But and everything I've achieved in my life, like a successful business, a successful stand-up career, once you achieve it, it loses its value. And that's not just me. That I know loads of people have said that. Like my best friend Mumford, people think he's a musical genius, and he's going to be live streaming with me this week, like sitting there. He's in Cambodia now. And because he can do it, it has no wonder for him anymore. It's not like, I'd really like to achieve that. I suppose there's a bit of imposter syndrome in there, but it's always deferred, isn't it? Once you've achieved it, well, I've achieved it. When people go, wow, I can't believe you're headlining this or doing that, and you're like, yeah, but does either of you understanding what I'm saying?
No,
I'll let Packer take this because I need to go. Sorry, I need to go have a slash. Packer and take this, and I'll come back.
What is it with you and Piss?
I've been to the bar. He's
drunk. There you go. We knew it anyway.
Start pissing. That's it.
It's a Monday. What do you expect? Come on.
Thank you. He's my family, and the joy just never goes out of it. So
say it again, Paco. I missed the beginning.
The only thing I can equate what you're saying with of my achievements is my biggest achievement is my family, right? My missus and my kids. Yeah. Joy never goes out of that.
No, and I think that's different because that involves relationships.
Yeah.
The
other thing I was going to say,
grow together.
When you've got Mumford on, once you've got a guitar in his hand, get him to play Mandom.
He's never played that tune in his life, right? I'll be able to play him the first few bars once, and he'll go da, 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 and then he'll just play it. Yeah. I promise you, it's. But when I first met him, I'd go, "Fucking hell, that's amazing," and he'd go, "It isn't. You just learn how to do it.
Yeah,
learn where to put your finger."
Once you've done that, you clip that, and then we've got another ending for your show, haven't you?
That's gone over my head.
You've got him playing us out whenever you want.
There you go. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll record. I'll set it up a bit better, and I'll get him to record a version with some backing vocals and all that. Because he's got a lovely. When you hear, he's a better. I sing like a drug addict. I can't imagine why. But Mumford's voice. He's got the voice of an angel. Really, he really has. And he's you've heard it on Household Tunes. All those backing vocals are him, and they're gorgeous. Now, that's going to be a cracking stream. And he knows I'll get the guitar out. He knows he ain't getting away with that. Check me entropy. Blogs ain't in. Oh, I better check that.
Oh, check the private chat. What did I put?
I'm just going to the piss, I thought you put.
No. That was done. Sitting Target was the film that Livy was in with Oliver Reed.
Oh, okay. Let's have a look at that then. Let's see if we can find that. Sitting Target movie. No shit. Let's see if we can find a bit. I found it, but now we need to find a clip. Livy, is that what you do, or is that what you've done? You're an actor. Amazing. I've never heard of it, I have to say. I don't remember a lot of his movies, really. I think of him just more as a character. Wasn't he in the Three Musketeers or something? Hang on, the full movie's on YouTube. Livy. Oh, no, it ain't. It's one of those ones where you click on it and then it tells you where the link is. Damn. So let's bring back some memories for Trailers from Hell is ridiculous. Right.
By the way, Chris, have you told your audience about Mr. In Between yet?
Oh, I don't know if I have. Did I, Packer? Does that ring any bells to you?
Not me.
Right. Stream. Scrubbage. Let me know if Hello, dinosaur trees. How are you? You've put flowers on it. You're growing. You've got a garden of love. I hope your marriage is still lovely, and bless you. I hope you're well. Good night, Mrs. Me in it. Hope you're well, my love. Right, so a mate of mine said to me, he said, listen, I'm telling you nothing about it, but there's a series. It's like a low budget gangster movie, gangster series. There's only three seasons. Each episode is about 25 minutes long.
Australian.
It's called Mr. In Between. And so I didn't go to Pirate Bay and get all of them. And it's fucking brilliant. It's fucking brilliant. It's just the storytelling's excellent. The acting is without fault. The directing, it's very entertaining, totally believable. And I said to Dan, Dan, you've got to do this. Go and find Mr. In Between. And he went, I'm years ahead of you, mate. I watched it all a couple of years back. It's wicked, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've never seen that show Reacher, but people have said it's similar to that in the sense that the main character is actually a competent white guy and he solves problems and he can go through his life, and it's not that he's not flawed. Of course he is, but do you know what I mean? Like, you know, do you know when you watch something, Chris? And this is the problem with modern Hollywood today. And yes, I know film is gay and Hollywood's shit, but as a straight white male, like we all are, apart from you, Chris, when we're watching cinema, and there's a protagonist that doesn't relate to any of us at all. And you're like, Christ, the difference was when Top Gun Maverick came out, you watched that film and you thought, oh my God, I'm feeling something. I've got this drive in me, in my stomach or something. This show is kind of like that. You agree with everything he does without exception. Every decision this man makes in this show, is the decision you would make if you had the capability to do so.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It's weird because
it just channels through you, doesn't it?
And you suddenly realize that you're supporting someone who's a very dangerous, very violent, not good for society, but there's something about him that is appealing. Reachers, I do love it. It's a dirty secret that I do like Lee Child's commuter trash Lee Reacher books. The Tom Cruise film was a joke. I mean, Reacher's like 6'5" unit, and
they made two of them, didn't they? The Tom Cruise ones. I've only
shocking.
seen one. Yeah,
absolutely embarrassing. You know, when you see the series Reacher, that's more like Reacher. He's fucking massive.
And I haven't watched them, but I've seen the pictures of him. Yes,
I've just got to check this out. Jackson, are you talking about the actor? What's his name, Dan? I contacted him on Instagram, but it was for a work account, so he's probably thinking I'm just selling him something.
Well, the guy from Mr. In Between.
Yeah,
Scott Ryan.
That's it. You talking about Scott Ryan, Jackson? He's a bit woke, is he? That's a terrible.
To be fair, I mean, actors are, aren't they? I mean, that wouldn't be a surprise. But I can still appreciate what he made. You know what I mean? So
I mean, he also wrote that series. He wrote it and acted in it. And it's based on something he made years ago called The Magician, which is on YouTube, but it's not a very good quality. I was going to say print then, as if it was actual film. But what I like about it is it's white working class people. There is okay, his daughter's mixed race, but he might be weirdly. If he is like that in real life, it doesn't come across in his work.
I think in the chat he's talking about the guy who plays Reacher rather than.
Oh, okay. What, the actor? Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, that's not surprising at all. I mean, the Jack Reacher series, it was sort of all right, but it's got nothing on Mr. In Between. And what I really like about Mr. In Between is it's having this renaissance now. I'm having other people mention it to me. When I mentioned it to Dan, he said, I'm a couple of years ahead of you on that. And it's nice because it didn't get any massive sort of exposure, but you type in Mr. In Between interviews, there's loads of them on YouTube, and he was going on channels with like 300 subs, just talking about it. And I watched one of them where the woman said she hit him up on Instagram and said, will you come on my channel? He got back to her and said, yeah, all right. And she was like, nah, this has got to be a parody account. And even when the stream was about to start, she said, I don't know if Scott Ryan's coming on or not. and then he did, and she was like, ah!
You need to try, mate. If you have to make a personal Instagram account or whatever you have to do, you need to try.
Yeah, no, I'm going to follow that up. Well, I say tonight. It's now 4:30 in the morning. So, well, let's give it another 10 minutes or something.
Let's go balls to the wall for the last 10 minutes. Let's push the board out. Let's get his channel banned. Let's go. Come on. Let's go.
Ben. Isn't it amazing? I'm still here, though. Still here.
Oh, you disavow nationalism. That's why.
I didn't disavow nationalism. I said
this is not a nationalist channel. That's what you did.
I thought it was important to maintain a community. And if it
I agree. I don't blame you at all for that. I think you were smart to do that.
No, I think it's nice that we get to come here and talk about everything else.
Yeah, exactly. It's broader.
I mean,
good.
Dan, you said this to me. I've said all I've got to say about it. I don't want a globalist world. I believe in the nation state. I believe in ethnicity, traditions, etc., etc. I just can't keep saying the same things, and it's so depressing.
Agreed, yeah.
I've said what my solutions would be. I've said what I think the problems are, and they haven't changed. So now it's community-based, and it has been for the last 3 or 4 years.
And I think that's great because I've watched in real time for the last 4 years ish of what this channel's become, and you've really helped people. I mean, the community is really strong. I mean, Packer here, I've never spoken to him before, but I know him, I feel like, because I've seen him so many times on your stream. And I think that's what you've done is a really positive thing. However, for me personally, and this is a problem, I'm going to just put out there right now. Since my Twitter got reinstated, surprisingly so, I'm feeling myself getting just more and more extreme. I don't know what to do about it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to say something. I'm going to do something. I'm going to catch a charge, as the kids say. I don't know, man. I'm trying to hold myself back a bit. People are saying, oh, start a Rumble channel or do a Substack or something like that. And I'm thinking, I don't know. Do I really want to do that again? But I could.
I told them, Dan, I told the Scrubs when you told me that as soon as you went live on Twitter, people are straight on you. What are you doing? What are you doing for the calls? Why haven't you got a channel? And you're just like, oh, fucking hell.
Because I know where that leads. I know the end destination of that. Yeah, I don't know.
There you go. And
you can't be half in, half out. That's the problem with this. I would love to be, okay, on weekends I'll write something. But you can't really, you know what I mean? You can't really do that. So,
well, I think we had this conversation where you echoed, or you might have said it first, the same as me. You've pretty much said what you can say on that side of things. I mean, I'm not saying you haven't got anything else to say, but
true. But it's more of an ego thing, because when you get a little bit of a platform back, you think to yourself, "Oh, I can spout off now. I've got an audience. I can do something." It's a purely selfish, egotistical thing.
You have said that to me a few times.
Yeah.
I mean, over the last 4 years, I think at least 10 times you've dipped your toe in the water and said to me, I'm thinking of maybe setting up a channel, or like you say, a Substack or something. So there is something. You're a creative person. You've proved it. You're a successful one as well. If I was in your position, I would be getting on it, because you'd have, I reckon, within a couple of weeks, you'd have 50,000 subscribers on a YouTube channel. Even just people checking it out to see what you're doing, because a lot of people, you helped a lot of people, you influenced a lot of people, and you're very good at making videos. And
I don't think you're incorrect.
I do feel like it's a bit of a shame that you're not doing that, but I also know why you're not, because you sacrifice a lot, don't you? Doing that.
The thing about it is if you do that, then you have to really do it, and you can't just be a part-time person. And I know my own nature. I know that if I was to get back into that, it would literally consume my life. So I wish there's a 50-50 compromise that I can figure out, but
I think there probably is, actually, Dan. I think
we'll see.
If you set some parameters before you started. I mean, I'm up in my YouTube game. Business is looking a bit dodgy, so I'm gonna up my YouTube game. Just because I can, and I should. I think I made a load of Dragon's Den reactions and got new subscribers. I mean, my channel is at 19,400, and then it goes up 100, goes down 100, goes down another 100, goes up 100, and that's it. But when I started doing those Dragon's Den videos, there was loads of new people in the chat. Do you remember, Packer? Really weird. They didn't hang around for that long, in fairness. I just need to say something that I missed. Nice one, The Truth Will Set You Free. Been on the firm for 41 months. That's amazing. Much appreciated, Kanatu. Incredible. Eve Elephant said, I hate you all. Okay. Wolf is unsubbing because Packer works for Mossad. I mean, if you're going to unsub for anything, Wolfie, Hello, Spanish chicken. Stick with like-minded peeps. Love everyone, but feck off the tards. Yeah, I think that. I mean, someone said it the other day during COVID. I didn't have it out here, but I saw how important it was when I was doing a stream at 9 o'clock in the morning in the UK. and there was like 250 people in here. And I thought, this is important to people. And I didn't understand it because we didn't have it out here. We pretended to, but it didn't really happen. But yeah, and then I'd do another stream later that night, and there'd be another 250 people. And
can I just say on the subject of that?
In the chat.
Well, 1 second. I will obviously let you both talk, obviously, but I just want to finish my point there that's now slipping out of my nocturnalist brain. Hang on. Fuck. If I let one of you talk, I'll remember, and then I'll interrupt you again.
All I was going to say is that's when I got to know most of the people in the chat was during that period of COVID, because it was just 4 hours a day sitting, listening to you waffle on and chatting to them.
Yeah. And I was aware of that, you know. I know that I do streams with nothing prepared, but sometimes it's just nice to see people who... Oh, that's what I was going to say. Right. So about sort of 5-6 years ago, the sort of the nationalist right were there was almost every stream said it. It's all very well having internet communities, but we need to build IRL communities. And, you know, you'd hear it all the time. And I don't think that anymore, because society's changed. We're a digital society. We're a screen society. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't meet up in real life, but I think real life meetings begin on the internet. And I think, you know, this idea that somehow an online community is substandard or subpar or not as good as, I think we need to let go of that kind of thinking, because the left don't do that. You know, the left are using the technology around us, and that's why they are dominating education, media, law, you know, virtually unchallenged, because they know how to use media. They don't sit around saying, oh, we should meet in real life. They do meet in real life, but they don't have this weird sort of reactionary, well, you know, it's not the same as us all sitting down in a boozer, is it? No, it's not the same, but the world's changing.
The difference between the left and the dissident right, if you want to call them that, is when our side meet up in real life, there's always this kind of cloak and dagger disguise about it. Oh, we need to disguise where we're meeting. We can't announce that we're meeting in the Weatherspoons in Bradford or something like that. You know, whereas the left just meet up wherever they want to meet up. And I think you're half right, Chris. I think it's 50-50. Yeah, the internet rules the world. Of course it does.
I just don't think it should be seen as less than.
No, of course, I agree. I totally agree. And it comes down to different personalities. I'm not a very social person, for example. However, over the years, I've met up with various people that I've met on Telegram or whatever it happened to be. And I've gotten on with them, and I've kept in touch with them. But I'm not the sort of person who would just go to a rally, for example, because I'm thinking, there's too many variables here. I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, that's the truth. That's the truth, honestly.
Dan, have you ever been to any kind of right-wing events or conventions?
Yes, I have, but I've never announced that I was going there. I've just turned up kind of on my own.
Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy them?
No, I didn't. There was honestly. There was a few back in 2017, 2018. There were in Newcastle. There was a few Brexit marches that I went on, and there was two sides. There was the pro-Brexit people and the anti-Brexit people. And what you saw happen is these two crowds of people would just congregate in an area and shout at each other for 3 hours, waving their signs. And I'm thinking, okay. Well,
wow, yeah.
What's the point? You know what I mean? It's performative, and all these photographers are taking pictures and posting them on blogs and making videos and all of this, and it's just, really? It's a waste of time. So I just don't really involve myself in that anymore. And I know that's going to piss a lot of people off. Oh, you need to be doing leaflets. You need to be putting stickers on lampposts and all this shit. I've put stickers on lampposts. I've put leaflets through letterboxes. I've done that. But look at where we are. You know what I mean?
Hello, Kelly. Can everyone say hello to Kelly?
Hello, Kelly.
Hello, Fitzy Kaza. Fitzy Kaza says, I love this channel so much. It's different chat, everything, entertaining, and in some ways educational. It's nice to watch you guys always mixing the subject, and it surprises. Hang on, mixing the subjects, and it surprised. Good community here. Nice one, Fitzy Kaza. I don't think I've seen you. You usually lurking. A lovely thing to say. Well, that's what I try and do. Well, I say I mean us. But you even mentioned that stickers thing. I mean,
yeah,
someone's just gone to prison for that. Someone's not being allowed to see his kids for that, for putting stickers up. Now, is that sacrifice worth it? Now, I'm not saying it isn't. This isn't rhetorical. I'm asking you, did those stickers, in your opinion, achieve enough for the political aspirations that were behind them to make it worth going to prison for, well, it looks like it will probably end up being a year and a half or something now. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Go on, Paco.
For the amount of publicity it's drawn. I think to him, I think to them, it's worth it. In their eyes, it will be worth it.
Yeah, but that's not the same question.
Well, I see their. I agree with them. If that's their point of view, that it's worth it.
I agree with them as well. But
it's made that big of a deal of it. It's drawn attention to it, and the other things are being measured against it.
Yeah, but Paco, look at what happened in Rotherham.
Exactly. It becomes the go-to measurement of when something is judged wrong, judged poorly. Do you know what I mean? Well, he got that for that. Well, so-and-so got for stickers. People say it now.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it, but I do know that young children without their father around.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see my daughter for 8 years.
Yeah. I feel for Laura, though. I know she hates me now, but I really feel for her.
No, it's an awful place to be. Maybe it's just I don't want to think it hasn't been worth it for them, because that would be tragic.
Dan, what do you think about that? Dan, hang on, Dan. Let's approach it from a different angle.
Go on.
Was the sacrifices you made worth it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But by the way, I don't think that I've had it hard at all. I think I've had it very easy compared to other people. But the truth is that, yes, in the summer of 2020, if you just want to get financial about it, most of my income, 90% of my income was based around that channel and the magazine and what else. And that was just killed overnight. So since then, I've had to just build myself up in real life.
And you'll never be employed?
Sure, probably not, unless there's some based person who, doesn't care about that shit. But
well, if Elon Musk, if ever there's a job going up at Star Wars or whatever it's called, maybe get your...
Well, look at this. I mean, you mentioned Elon Musk.
Hang on a minute, Dan. Referring to the in real life affair you went to, Emma says that you only went because you heard Les Dennis was going to be there.
I do enjoy Les Dennis. Yeah, he's great. Prime time. What was I saying? Oh, but sorry, you mentioned Elon Musk there. And this is the thing. So things can change very, very quickly. I would never have imagined that there would be a quote unquote, and I'm tongue in cheek here, based billionaire that would buy a major social media platform that would reinstate everyone that we know. Fucking Millennial Wars, Nick Fuentes, for Christ's sake. All these people, you would never have imagined that back in 2020. when everyone was just getting cold left, right, and centre.
And we were asking for it. Remember, we used to say, why haven't the right got any billionaires on our side?
Well, that's the thing. And it was almost a point of comedy, because that's what the Western world came down to. Your billionaires versus our billionaires. And at the time, we didn't have any. And Elon Musk, by the way, he's not some fucking nationalist. He is good enough for now. And that's the paradigm that we're working in. So, yeah, I mean, it's. Oh, I forgot your original question. What, it was something about me? I don't know. The point
I just want to say, I'm not taking anything away from Sam or the pain that family is going through. That's not the question. Of course not. What I'm talking about is, I take someone like Barkley. I talked to Barkley yesterday for a couple of hours. And when I talk to Barkley, when it's just me and him, it's not like when he's on here. We have good conversation, good compassionate conversations. But there's stuff I know that's going on in his life that I can't talk to you about, but I will do at some point. And it's fucking insane. What that kid has been dragged through is mind-blowing. And I don't think it was worth it for him. I don't. I've got a lot of respect for Mark. I consider Mark a friend. I talk to him, still talk to him occasionally. But I'm not. I feel that, I was saying to Barkley yesterday, I said, drop it, drop all that stuff, get on with your life. And he said to me, yeah, but bless him, and I'm sort of proud of him. He said, yeah, but I care about it. I said, yes, but if you lived your life for 10 years, your 20s, got out there and known what it was like to pay taxes and know what it was like to have a shitty job for a couple of years, and all this, you'd be better placed to be doing something about what you want to do, about what you're trying to do. You've been so cocooned in that world that I just think he should go and live his life. He's put basically since age 15 to 20, and again, I can't talk about it, but when it all comes out, you're going to be shocked.
Well, I won't ask you about it here or in private, actually, but the other day I found one of my old external hard drives and I plugged it in. And I found a lot of my old videos that I had. And one of the videos that I had put on that hard drive was my original interview with Mark Collett. And I did like a 2-hour interview with him for my channel. And I watched it again. And by the way, this is from 2018, 2019, something like that. And I was listening to it and I thought, everything he's saying in this video that I made all those years ago is completely correct and accurate. And nothing's changed. Right. The difference is the level of power that we and he has. So, for example, you talk about Barkley there. He's very passionate about these issues, and so am I. And he puts himself into them. He throws himself into them. But on a power level in the mainstream society, we have none of that. Reform won 5 seats, and Reform are centrists at best, right? So officially, we're still very, very vulnerable. And you have to think, okay, well, what's the game here? What's the long-term plan? You can go balls to the wall. You can hold rallies and say, look, deport everybody, whatever you want to say. But is that going to serve us in the long run? And I think we have to take more care of our own people, really. People like Barkley.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
And it's like, okay, well, it's great to be involved in something. It's great to show your passion for the cause. But beyond internet street cred, which is something that I always say, what does that really achieve?
There's a couple of things I've got to say, because I have contradicted myself a bit, because
we're all hypocrites, Chris.
The things we were all talking about 6 years ago, channels like yours, Dan, mine, Hughes, all the PA crowd, and loads of others, channels with 500 subscribers, channels with 500,000, and everyone in between. I can't say for sure. I never want to be 100%, but I think definitely played a part in the mainstreaming of those conversations. Now it's mainstream to talk about immigration being a problem. That's that is my and I think we played a part in moving the Overton window. I'm not disputing that.
Let me interrupt there very briefly. I think there is definitely a place, and this has always been the case, but there's definitely a place in polite political society, especially in this country, for people who are perceived as radical, but they're doing that for a purpose because they know in 5 or 6 years' time, that's where the Overton window will shift. And they're almost sacrificing themselves in a way to make that happen. So yes, continue.
Agreed. But that's also that's what I mean about someone like Barclay. I shouldn't really talk about him when he's not here, but I think there's a time when you should stop and have a bit and live a bit of your life. And I think that will, you can get back on that horse a bit later, and you'll know more about the world. You'll know more about the realities of being, in your situation. There's a few people in the chat saying things like, I don't think Laura hates you. Why do you think Laura hates you? I was being a bit hyperbolic. Me and Laura used to talk quite a lot. We used to take the piss out of Mark's wardrobe, and I'd send her, I've got software so I can see how much traffic websites get, and I'd send her those occasionally. And then when I made that video, this is not a nationalist channel, next time I tried to talk to her on Telegram, she'd gone. So I doubt she hates me. I doubt she even thinks about me. So I'm being a bit hyperbolic. We just don't talk anymore. So that's what I mean. I imagine she's probably quite indifferent to me.
What was wrong with Mark's wardrobe?
Her and Mark supported me a lot. They actually put up official PA things to say, look, fuck off talking to us about Dangerfield. We've made our decision, blah, blah, blah. It was very funny once when I got a message from Laura saying, look, I have to ask, did you fuck a dog? And I was like,
the dictionary term of dog, or are we just talking really ugly women?
I think she meant a canine. Is it? No, is that? That's a
canine. Yeah.
What? But did you have to clarify that with her?
No, I just said no. I didn't. I was a comedian. But there you go. Have they not? I thought Mark had got his account back. No,
I haven't seen them on Twitter. Sorry, X. I haven't seen them on there.
Okay. People, it's 4:45 in the morning. I've really got to go, or I'm not going to sleep. I didn't sleep last night. Without a doubt, big up Barclay, goes without saying. Okay, the Wanderer says, I've just seen an interesting post on the Reform. There's a Reddit. There's a Reform subreddit, is there? I'm being made fun of for being white. Weird.
Well, I tell you what about Reform, right? First of all, Reddit, that subreddit would probably very quickly turn into an ironic subreddit, as in lots of anti-Reform people will take it over and take the piss.
Yeah. That's Reddit all over, isn't it?
Reddit. Yeah, that is Reddit. Reform. Look,
yes,
I genuinely support Reform, despite all their problems, and we don't have to go into it because, well, that's the bridgehead we have. That's it, and it has. Yes, the real world is so far behind the internet. That's just the way it is. But then how Farage went over to America today. I think he posted, I have to go and see my friend Donald Trump at the RNC and do all this. All these fucking people were like, oh, so Farage, he's just been elected for the first time ever into Parliament. He's leaving his constituents and clapping. And I'm thinking, imagine going to see your friend, the future president of the United States, who's just survived an assassination attempt.
Yeah.
Imagine tossing that off to talk about potholes Give me a break.
I can't believe you just said tossing that off. I've never heard that used in that context before.
Well, look,
Maybe
I am a
thing.
big gay boy, aren't I? So they
we're laughing on the other side of their faces when this time next year, Clacton-on-Sea is twinned with Washington.
When Donald Trump visits Clacton with the motorcade and everything and the fireworks,
you wouldn't put it past him either, would you? You absolutely wouldn't.
Absolutely. Fucking hell, David Lammy's the foreign secretary. Is he going to talk to David Lammy or Farage? Give me a break. Come on.
I said it on X. Apart from the very negative real-world consequences, I mean, small to medium enterprise businesses are going to just be dropping like flies over the next few years, and I'm not making fun of that because that ruins lives. But this government are going to be hilarious. You know, they're totally unqualified for almost every position, from prime minister down to whipping boy.
It's very nearly idiocracy, isn't it?
Yeah.
My prediction is, and this is a very conservative prediction, I think within 18 months, Keir Starmer's out. That's what I think. Because I think the left of the Labour Party, as in the pro-Palestinian side of things and the pro-trans side of things, will conflict with the Blairite types, and it'll be a problem.
We've got a communist government in Britain at the moment. They are communists. They call each other comrade at their conventions. Let's not pretend. They say, oh, no, we're socialists. Well, the socialist is a communist. Marx used those words interchangeably throughout all of his literature. All 3 volumes of Das Kapital. He'll say socialist one paragraph, communist the next. There's a communist government in Parliament at the moment. That's a fact. Now, what you get now, which you got with your Trotskyites, which you got with Lenin, which you got with Stalin, is now the battle where the radicals want to take over. You know, they've moved in this centrist kind of Starmer character, and now they'll be looking at trying to, what's it? The old Marxist terms I forgot. They'll be looking at trying to put the means of production into the hands of the working class. They'll be looking at getting rid of the managerial class, and where that's been tried, which is 2/3 of the planet, it's always ended up in millions of people dying. That's a historical fact.
But sorry, go on, Chris.
Nuclear arsenal, which is a weird change, you know. I mean,
if you listen to someone like Peter Hitchens, though, because you just described Keir Starmer as a centrist or a moderate. According to someone like Peter Hitchens, who is the ultimate doomer, Keir Starmer is more left than Blair, according to him. He is the ultimate leftist radical. And this is Blairism 2.0 and the second half of the revolution. Now, my opinion is that there's going to be no real difference between this government and the Tory government because they're all fucking uniparty. Who gives a shit?
I thought that, but when I actually considered it in full, communists want revolution. That's the aim of it. It's perpetual revolution. And if that isn't seen to be happening by the backbenchers, well, they'll stop supporting the frontbenchers. And, you know, I grew up under a Labour government. Well, I was talking to Packer about it the other day. We used to get sent home from school because they didn't have any coal. It was too cold. Look, I know it's the classic Mises analysis, but the free market regulates the value of your resources. That includes labor, labor value. If you don't have a free market, you don't know the value of your resources. And if you don't know the value of your resources, you can't plan long term. Now, I'm not suggesting they're going to go full Marxist revolution, but they will be looking to redistribute wealth via taxes initially, but after that, it will be a little bit more Das Kapital. And you know, there could be some rocky times ahead. I certainly don't think this government's going to make the cost of living crisis any better. That's a fact.
No. I think that if anyone asks me for a TLDR version of why Britain's fucked in the short term, it's because the cost of living's going up and the standard of living is going down, and that's unsustainable. It's as simple as that. And Dax Moon in the chat just said, Hitchens is even more of a doomer than the iconoclast. Now, I reject that, Dax. I'm not a doomer. I'm a cynical optimist. That's how I define myself. I'm cynical, but I am optimistic.
Though, he's so embittered, isn't he? It's brilliant. He's just pissed.
Which makes it so annoying how, because I've got a few of Peter Hitchens' books, by the way. I can't remember what the name of it was, the other one, but he's always going on about we need to destroy the Conservative Party, and then this election is like, no, stop, do not vote for Labour, you know. And what he's saying by that is you have to vote for the Conservatives because they're the only ones that have a chance against them, right? Because he buried reform. I was like, oh God, I mean, what is this? What kind of life is that? What kind of ideology is that? He wants destruction, but he's not willing to go for it and really stab the knife in when you really need him to. So British politics.
I mean, someone said earlier about PA, and I remember when PA started, it was so exciting. It really was. What a time. And everyone thought, right, there's something we can all get involved in here. And then when they refused to get registered as a political party the first time, it was all a bit like, oh, okay, we'll give it another go. I think it's been about 5 times now, and you know, we need I think if someone more radical than Reform was an actual party, they would clean up. I don't know. Look what just happened in France. The political system in Western Europe is designed to prevent radical change. That's what it's designed for.
Like our system. But I don't think. I think reform. But let's put it this way: before Farage announced himself as the leader for this election, I predicted, and I think everyone else did, that they would get fucking bent over and raped electorally. Because nobody likes Richard Tice. He's a fucking uninspiring idiot.
Yeah, Tice.
It was the charisma of Farage, despite what people think of him, that dragged that party to where they are now. And ultimately, sometimes in politics, it's a media game. It's, you know, perception is reality. If you can give a speech, if you're charismatic, if you're funny, if you can take the piss out of other people, you'll get some votes, you know, and that's the way it is.
Have you seen either of you seen Tice in them meetings he's had with people? There's one where he's talking to this woman. She's the head of some fire brigade somewhere, so like London, wherever, right?
No.
And she's just sat there and told this board of MPs, there's systemic racism within the London fire brigade force, and they're going to stamp it out. And then he starts asking her straightforward questions as a Yorkshireman and just tears her a new one because she can't answer them. I think the first one out of his mouth is, "Can you tell me how a white man within your firefighting force has an advantage over anyone else? That's unfair. That's, you know."
Well, hang on. Who said that?
This Richard, in second in command at Reform.
Yeah, no, I know Tice is, but that was his answer, was it? Okay. I mean,
he was asking her these questions and just blowing holes in her argument because she couldn't then back up that the force was systemically racist. She had no evidence to back that up, but she just sat there and said it. Done it to several people.
I think. I mean,
he was doing it to some Albanian foreign minister about, you know, how a certain Albanian demographic keep coming to this country, and what's he going to do about it?
I missed a lot of the. Hang on a minute. Nice one, Anglo. I need to know more about the Fabian Society. Do you lads know about it? Starmer is a member, I believe. I do not. That's my simple answer about the Fabian Society. I know that it was set up at the start of the 20th century or something, but I'd have a look online, Anglo, or someone in the chat might be able to point you in the right direction.
I think Anglo probably knows, and he's asking us what we know.
No, he says, I need to know more about the Fabian Society. Do you lads know about it?
Well, okay, maybe 50-50. Maybe he's sarcastic or maybe he's actually genuine. I genuinely don't know anything about it, but early 20th century, red flags. There you go.
Here you go, Anglo. The Fabian Society is a British socialist, that means communist, organisation whose purpose is to advance the principles of social democracy and democratic socialism via gradualist and reformist efforts in democracies rather than a revolutionary overthrow. That tells me there are Trojan horse for a communist revolution. That's all I need to know about them.
Aren't they all? Isn't everybody?
What, a communist Trojan horse?
Yeah, literally everybody is. I
don't know if Mike Tyson is.
Well,
but I did get it wrong. 1884 they set up.
All right, fair enough.
Interesting date.
Anglo-Saxon wankers then. Yeah, basically.
Research done.
There you go. There you go. Thank you, Anglo. Much appreciated, mate. Listen, people, I could go on, but I'm just flagging here. There was something else, though. Hello, Jules, who says the political right and left are two arms of the same beast. The plans in store for us will still continue. Well, for me, I don't see it as left and right. It's globalist, nationalist. You know, and like Hugh said to me when I went to see him in Vietnam, his issue with nationalism is, how do you expect to decouple a nation like England from the global economy and culture? You know, England is like Airstrip 1. It's like a giant airport. And, you know, just practically, what are you going to do about that? I think where I this isn't a black pill. It might come across like one, but I think a lot of those ideas are just those proper nationalist sort of changes are going to be generational. You're looking at 30, 40 years. I think it could happen, but I don't think a party will get into power and be able to make those changes. Marine Le Pen got more votes than the people who are now running France. You know, Viktor Orban's plans to get more people breeding haven't really worked. People say they have, but go and look into it. They haven't. And, you know, when you're saying you don't pay any income tax if you have 4 kids and that doesn't work, that's a cultural thing. People don't want 4 kids because they've been caught up in a you know, the living out here. One of the things I learned in the first year out here is how much of a bureaucratic trap the West has become. You want to do anything, the fucking paperwork, the documents, the things you've got just to go fishing.
Here's a perfect example. My daughter wants me to go. She's moving in a few weeks, and she wants me to take my truck and help her take a shitload of stuff to the dump before she moves, because she doesn't need to. A new place is furnished. I have to get a permit from her dump to take her rubbish in my truck, and I have to fill it in.
Yeah, and it will be low. They'll want like passport photo scans and all sorts. It's not these things ain't simple, and it's again, it's another way. It's another way. All that administration is another way of giving loads more people, essentially in government, jobs, and taking public money, which is taxes, and putting it into private pockets. That's what it's another version of that. It drives me mad. Like out here, because there's no welfare, you need to make money or you die. And you can just set a shop up on the pavement and start selling coffee. You can just do it. And, you know, you can't walk along the pavements for people trying to sell you stuff. And good. It's good that, you know, no welfare is why this country is still 98% ethnic Khmer. Because you can't come here and get much. There's nothing free here. You can only, it's only worth coming here if you can put anything into it. And I just think England is so, you know, England is so capital wealthy. It's got its hands in so many globalist pies. The idea of just sort of pulling away from them, and you know, it's almost pie in the sky to think that can happen, and that's intentional. You know, that's part of government. Like I talked to you all about this the other day. I don't believe we need governments. We've been told that nations need a gang at the top that make the rules and tell us what to do, whereas I think that the free market can do all that sort of stuff. And part of the government is making sure that they reproduce necessary cultural relations so that they exist and they continue to exist. And part of that is integrating themselves into the globalist machine so that you're dependent on it. You know, if you try and pull away from it, well, you ain't getting any food delivered. There'd be sanctions on you. You're nationalists. We ain't sending corn over to you. We're not sending you this. We're not sending you that, and you starve.
I would go a little bit further than you, Chris. I think you talk about the globalist economy there. What we're really talking about in terms of Britain with that is the City of London.
Yeah, exactly.
Without this so-called economy of the City of London, the UK as a whole will be so poor, economically speaking, right? It really is, because there's no industry. We've got nothing going on here. The coal mines are shut down. The steelworks are shut down. Shipbuilding doesn't exist anymore. And of course, China has a part to do with that because they do everything so much cheaper. But the point is,
we gave them our manufacturing base. We can't blame it only on China. Yeah, I think.
The point is, we gave it up. We surrendered it. It's over. It's done. We fucked it off. And economically speaking, this country is on stilts. It's going to collapse at some point. And maybe, you know what? Like we talk about the welfare state sometimes because this country just puts all this money that they don't have really into the welfare state. That has a limit. And when that bubble finally bursts, God help you.
Well, I think it's already collapsing, that side of things. I think anyone who thinks they're going to get a pension are going to get the shock of their lives. They'll get one, but it won't be enough to live on. That much, you know, we've all heard it. You can't have open borders and welfare. You can't. It doesn't work. And that's democracy. What we've had for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Oh, longer than that. You know, well, people. When I was, and I'm not proud of this, but in my 20s, I used to blag the dole because it was worth it. But I've got friends who I talk to now, and they've got younger brothers, and I'm like, what? Are they just dole blagging? And they're like, it's a fucking nightmare now. It's not worth it. You don't get enough. There's not enough money around. I mean, there is. The City of London is like a nation of its own. But that's the bit that's integrated into the globalist machine. Sure, that's sort of like the umbilical cord that keeps England within the globalist machine. All the people around it, all they do is work their asses off and keep throwing money at it, because if you don't, you go to prison, because a bunch of people decided that we need ruling.
And the very idea of fiat currency, as in the pound or the dollar, it's a house of cards. You and I know this, Chris.
Yep.
It's not backed by anything. It's people believe it's valuable, so that's why it's valuable.
Well, and just the way it's manipulated is, you know, I mean,
anyway, I'll take my leave now. I've got to go, but really enjoyed this, guys. Nice to meet you, Packer.
Dan, where are you going? To the mini bar or the toilet?
No, my friend is literally sitting on the couch looking at me now, so I'm gonna sign off.
How long has he been there?
Just 5 minutes, but it's fine.
Oh, thank God for that. I thought you were going to say 2 hours.
He doesn't want to be. No, he just want to be on mic. So never mind.
Can we have a big D in the chat for Dan? Lovely to talk to you, Dan.
Yeah,
I am going to tell you some things I can't say in public. Blow your mind.
Yeah, send me a 7-minute WhatsApp voice note. Do it. Yeah.
Yeah, Dan, we'll do a stream together next week or something, or when you've got some time.
Yeah, sure thing. This week's good for me.
Anytime. Yeah, me too. My missus is away as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we're free men. Come on. Let's do it.
Yeah. Ta-da, Dan. Bye.
Fuck women. Bye-bye. See you, Packer. Cheers.
Yeah, about that then, people. Scrubs of the world unite. What do you make of old Dan then, Packer?
He's a lovely fella, isn't he?
He is a lovely fella. I used to absolutely love those Three Stooges streams. I watch streams where you've got like 3 people, and I'm not knocking anyone. There's, you know, horses for courses, different blokes for different jokes. But what was good about that was we didn't agree. We'd usually talk about things we knew we didn't agree on. So it wasn't just everyone going, yeah, I'm like that. Yeah, I believe that. You know, Hugh, I'd always just wind up Hugh. I remember I said to him once, I like the gays, though. They're early adopters. And he went, fucking early adopter. And he kept bringing it back and going, oh, the gays are early adopters. They got an iPhone before everyone else. And I don't know if anyone knows this. Hugh didn't do a single one of the 38 Three Stooges sober. When we'd meet up before the stream, Ed'd just be there like, and I'd be going, you want to wake up a little bit? He'd be going, I'll be fine in a couple of minutes. I'll just have just get this one down, I'll be fine. And then, you know, me and Dan would be like, oh, fucking hell. Good times. John Palmer, thanks for that donation, mate. Right, it's 10 past 5. I'm going to play a bit of music. I'm going to play Anglo's tune. He donated. He's a lovely lad. Packer, what do you make of the stream?
Fantastic.
It was a good one, wasn't it? I come on here quite unhappy tonight, and I thought I'm not going to be unhappy. I'm gonna be optimistic. I'm trying to be stoic about the direction a lot of things in my life are going at the moment. Because if the business does die, I am then a full-time writer. Do you know what I mean? Oh, and a YouTuber. But you know, anyway, I wasn't going to get into it, and now I'm getting into it, so I'm going to drop that. People, keep an eye out for the notifications. Click the bell, because YouTube have unclicked loads of people's bells. That sounds a bit weird, but they have. Because you don't want to miss that. Once me and Mumford get going, that'll be a 3 or 4 hour stream. He'll be off his nut. I mean, don't tell him I told you that. We won't mention it on the stream. He probably will, because he won't know what he's saying. But yeah, check that out. Packer, unfortunately, that will just be me and him for obvious reasons, because I know you don't say. Thank you, John, for that as well. I know you don't say anything anyway, but it'll be very boring for you to not say anything and have to sit listening to us two.
I only hung around tonight so that I got to be on a stream with Dan.
Oh, no, it worked well tonight because it was organic. Hang on. Right, that's all ready to go. No, it was lovely to have you on with Dan. It was really nice. I was never going to... Oh, sorry, Packer, Dan's in now. You couldn't... No, that's never going to happen. Nah, would not do that. I couldn't do that. You've revolutionized this stream, and the way it's I know you don't like all this, but take the fucking praise.
I don't see it. I just sit here and occasionally say something.
No one's complained. Everyone's always chuffed, and it's happened organically. But when you try and contrive these things, should I get a co-host who doesn't really say much? That might be funny. cringe as fuck, but funny that, you know, everyone knows you because you've been on in call-ins and that. I mean, we've done 2-hour streams where you've said like about 7 words. At the end, you go, no, it's been fun. All right, I'll let you go. Put big P in the chat for Packer people. Ta-da, mate.
Yes,
Ta-da, mate. Well, there you go, people. Packer, I'm going to chuck you out of the thing. So if you're watching it on StreamYard, you might want to, if you want to watch the end anyway, YouTube it. Ta-da, mate. Well, there you go, people. I mean, it's 5:15 in the morning. It'll be light in about 30 minutes. Wait, we had a power cut here on Saturday night. And so my missus fucked off home. My phone's run out. I got 2 here. They both run out of batteries. My battery on my laptop lasted about 40 minutes. And then just nothing. You get a lot of power cuts in Cambodia, but usually they're like 20 minutes. And you just sort of, you know, I usually lift some weights if there's a power cut because you don't need to see when you're lifting weights. But I wasn't feeling too well, so I thought there's no point doing that. And it just didn't come back on. And it got to about 2 o'clock in the morning. And I thought, well, fuck this. You know, I got a little torch here, got through 2 batteries that I had charged from a vape reading. And really weird books. So I gave all my books away because I'd read them, and I rarely read books twice. And I've got a Kindle packed with them. So that was weird. And I thought I'd go to sleep, right? So about 3 o'clock, after flossing my teeth and giving them a good scrub in my rocks, I get in bed about 3 o'clock. And I wake up and it's 6 o'clock Saturday evening. I've slept all through Saturday. And for someone who's working his ass off all week, working, YouTubing, writing, don't forget to like this stream, people. Give it a like now. It'd be really helpful. I always forget to ask that. If you do that, YouTube offer it out to other people. And the more subscribers we get, the more videos I'll make. I will be making more though anyway. So you know, the sun's going down because the sun goes down at 6 o'clock. It's about 5:45 and I can see it's getting dark outside. I'm like, that's your Saturday gone. The power ain't back on. And I'm like, bollocks, man. I get 1 weekend a week and I've just lost it. And I was so unhappy, I thought, fuck it, I'm going to bed. I'm going back to bed. And oh, nice one, Anglo. Hang on, so that I don't confuse everything, I'll finish this story. I thought I'm going to go back to bed. So I cleaned my teeth again, had a little wash. And as I was doing that, I realised it wasn't getting darker, it was getting lighter. It wasn't 6 o'clock in the evening. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. I'd slept for 3 hours. And then I had some weird sort of jet lag because, you know, I thought it was Saturday night, Saturday morning, and then the power come back on. But I was a bit freaked out by it all. When you're an old boy like me, things like that can do you. And then I got a load of writing done yesterday. It's going to be mad, man. But that novel's actually going to be available. And I'll tell you what, I've got a plan where we're going to make it a cult classic between us. I'm serious. Anyway, listen, massive thanks to Packer. I don't underestimate. He comes on here. He just does it. And that's an amazing thing. So massive thanks to him. Massive thanks to everyone who's donated. I'm absolutely brassic. So it is like double bubble at the moment. So thank you very much. I know everyone's skin, so that means a lot to me. And most of all, as always, thanks to the people who just come to these streams. It's lovely to know that I can, you know, I needed this tonight. Sometimes I need streams as well. I need to just cheer up a bit, talk to some people, and remember what's important in life. And that's honesty, communication, truth. So, yeah, it's been lovely. Anglo has dropped a super chat. I'll just check entropy. No, we're good there. Anglo says, When's the main man Mumford coming on? What day? I'd hate to miss it. Does he know how much he's loved around here? I tell him, but he won't accept it. There's something about him. I say to him all the time, come on, they love you. And, you know, when he come on and told those stories about all those weird birds he got hold of and all that. But I told him today that it's expected of him, and I booked his flight from Siem Reap because he can't do all that sort of stuff. So I done it for him. So he owes me one anyway. And I sent him some medicine a couple of months back. So he owes me 2 actually. So that's definitely going to happen. I'll tell you what, Anglo, he arrives from Siem Reap tomorrow. So it probably won't be tomorrow because he'll probably go and liaise with ladies of easy leisure. It will probably be either Wednesday or Thursday. That would be my guess. So just look out for that. I've got your email, haven't I, Anglo? If I can dig it out. Actually, I know I've got so many emails from Scrubs I haven't replied to, but because I've been doing all other people's work, I've got fucking hundreds of emails that need replying to, but I will get around to them. I won't. I just end up deleting them all. So if you haven't heard from me yet, you ain't gonna. But if you did write to me and it's something to do with addiction or you know, stuff like that, just write again, because I'm always available to talk to people who are struggling with substances, and I include alcohol and weed in that. So if you've written to me about that, write to me again, because this is my confession. I am going to delete most of my emails because it's just too unmanageable. I've got 3 accounts and they're all at about 600 emails, and that's a couple of days' work answering all of them. So sorry. If I wasn't doing the work of 3 people at the moment, I would have done it. Sorry to let you down there, but sometimes it's just not viable. But look out for more standalone videos. I'm going to get back on them and I'll be streaming more as well. But Mumford, Wednesday, Thursday. I will be leaving with Mumford playing. I'll be putting your messages on the screen. That's all you need to know, really. I'm just going to refresh Entropy because Bill sometimes turns up. Oh, bad gateway. Cheers, Entropy. Maybe you can't see me. Maybe I've crashed. He's crashed. What's that from? First person to put it in the chat gets 1,000 scrub points. He's crashed. Hello, is Squiddy Games from the Netherlands. He just disappeared, didn't he? He just disappeared. Me and him didn't really get on anyway. I mean, I don't think we hated each other, but we didn't really get on. There you go, JP, Anglo as well. There you go. Hello, Special K. I don't think I said hello to you. Did I say hello to you, Dax? Top Gun. Nah, it was an English police camera action. I thought it was police camera action, but JP said, please stop. So I'm going to trust him. Anyway, here's a bit of Mumford to get your juices flowing. I'll be putting your messages on the screen. And the really hardcore hang around for my parting shot. I'll be back after the song. Here we go. Bally G with what I like to call Anglo's theme. Yeah, I like it. Do that. And I won't talk over it like I usually do, saying hello to people.
You're fighting good. Feel the glory he said you would. Tell your mama you're coming home. Over all of that deafening drone. But you'll realize you've been sold when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel. Feel the dawn of your final day. Feel the fear and go anyway. Get right in that like play. Kill your conscience and numb your brain. But you'll realize you've been sold when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel. Cause the wheels already been rolled when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel. Tell yourself it ain't really you. But when the slaughtering has begun, you'll be murdering someone's son. And you'll realize you've been sold when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel. Cause the wheels already been rolled when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel. Oh Lord, yes, you'll realize you've been sold when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel. Oh Lord, cause the wheels already been rolled when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel. Oh Lord, yeah.
Oh, wow. Anglo drops a last minute one there. Another excellent stream, a lovely community. Can't wait for Mumford. God bless and fight. And I just want to read out Packer's one again because it was a bit musically distorted. Thank you for that, Anglo. Packer says, cheers, Chris. Thanks for having me. Lovely to meet Dan. Made a great stream. See you all later. Anglo drops another one. Oh, I'm getting it all confused here, aren't I? Oh yeah, there you go. Another excellent stream. A lovely. I just read that, didn't I? Oh, I'm getting all confused. It is late though. What was I going to say? Thank you, everyone. There was something before this stream. I was strung out a bit, just life stuff. And like I said, I thought I just need to do something instead of sitting around stressing. And when I've done that before, do you remember that stream I deleted a couple of weeks back because it was just grim and miserable? And I said I shouldn't have streamed. And I deleted it as soon as I finished. And before I streamed tonight, I thought, are you making the same mistake? Oh, it's getting light out, man. It just takes me back to the crack days. Speaking of which, well done, mate. Giving up the weed is so nice, getting your life back. People think, it's only a bit of weed, but fuck me, when you're off it, you realise, wow, yeah, that wasn't just a bit of weed. That's been half my life down the pan. Great work. You've reclaimed your future. But it was so nice to see a disproportionate amount of people saying great stream. I'm not putting that on me. I'm putting that on Packer, Dan, me, and all of you lot. So I'm glad I took the risk. Look after yourselves, people, and an absolutely massive hoita.